Welcome, my lovely dears, to another sultry session of sunrise and sunset. When at last we left off, our glorious heroes continued their adventure through the sands, and by the sands I mean the depths beneath the sands, headed through Felshire, the ancient capital of the Tiefling folk, where people done worshipped Valorous, and he did his thing of not really respecting that worship all that much because, whatever. Greedy mortals, etc., etc. Whilst you were there, you happened to make a new friend who went by the name of Ghost, a Valorisian priestess, who, after spending some time treating you all to a delicious home-cooked meal, um, with most of the party's help, uprooted her garden of vegetables and herbs, and gathered the headstone of her partner, left the capital. The process of which probably took you guys a couple of days. Like, it's a lot of city to go through, and you're suddenly moving a lot of things and trying to avoid getting into, like, Mines of Moria, the goblins are swarming along the walls sort of situation in this place. But you do manage to do so with a little issue. Now, of course, there are riches in this place, although you came out with some number of them. There is rather specifically a selection of goods that Ghost is willing to cotton you all onto, as thanks for essentially getting her out of this place, her and her husband, Pat's headstone. Would everybody please roll me 1d1000?
Oh,
1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Point gas.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that was 100.
1,000.
That was 100. Whoops,
Yep.
I forgot a 0.
Nice. Those squiggle brackets are not
Oops.
square.
411. Give me some information.
Okay.
I'm the
Who's
greatest,
missing?
the undefeated champion.
No one's missing.
No, I'm just, that's what I'm asking. Who's missing? Nobody. Maeve! Don't forget to roll Maeve.
No, she doesn't. She's not part of this role. She would just be adding another divisible, so it doesn't
Yes.
matter too much. Wow, you guys actually came out like pretty much smack in the middle.
That's generally how it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
Except with a sample size of 6, RNG could do whatever the fuck it wanted.
For sure, but... It's good to know the dice are working.
They're working as long as they come out in my favor.
Yeah, that's how it always goes, isn't it? The dice are fine so long as they're in my favor.
Alright. If you'd like to add on to your party loot,
Topaz.
Alright.
530 platinum in cash and 83 gold in topaz.
Was
Pretty
Grace
good payday.
rolling around?
So who's in the party?
I am.
Adding it. Okay. It's a pretty hefty payday.
Yeah, it's good money.
Yeah.
She's very thankful. Of course, she's still holding like 20, 30 platinum herself. Wouldn't really need more than that to make a living unless she's like, she pauses. There isn't like hilariously huge inflation, right? This is still a lot of money for normies.
It's still a decent amount of money.
Alright, good.
Turns out that Caswell Deliriously High just was able to find the most amount of gold.
Yep. Just
Yep.
sniffling around while he was on his journey to space. Oh yeah, of course, a couple of the party members consumed some particularly strong opium cakes. Apparently Ghost, over the course of thousands of years, hasn't really, has kind of built up a tolerance to mind-altering drugs.
Yeah, no shit. She's, her tolerance level is like, oh, I'm just gonna get some mild aspirin. Her aspirin's a fucking venom.
Yeah, yeah. You think it's your spirit animal? It was just Kira the entire time.
Yeah.
Who?
Kira.
Whoa.
Cat's off.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I heard something different, and I used the old joke.
But yeah. So you leave, get yourselves together, and then you are shipbound. There is a lot of Ghost just like shielding her eyes for a long time. It's going to take her ages to acclimate to this brightness.
Yeah. Well, she's got a little bit of time while I figure out how to like reseal the opening we have to the city.
Yeah. You can all give me an Arcana test.
Absolutely.
Well, I could try.
Yeah. It looks like pushing the like stone slabs of this place, of this staircase, closed together again will reform the ceiling orb for it.
Huh? What do you how do you mean?
When this place was opened, there was an orb essentially that sealed the door, and when brought over to the door, the orb disintegrated and stone opening slid open. If you guys manually push those back into place to close them, then the orb of ceiling will reappear.
Okay.
You mean we gotta do manual labor? Oh, man.
Afraid so. It's fine. And the DC for this was, not especially high, because it turns out the only thing you needed to do to lock the door was close the door, which I feel like anyone would have really figured out with enough time.
Yeah. I didn't really know there was like something to actually pull, because when you have it on the map, it's just like a set of stairs going down.
Yeah. I feel like I decided it described it as stone door sliding open, revealing, ghostly entrance to the depths, but it was the end of a session many weeks ago by this point, so I don't expect anyone to remember why it was cool.
So long as we're able to close it, then.
Yep.
It canceled on the one day that Bean had to hang out in session 2.
Alas.
She was so disappointed.
Alas. I had shit to do, and that shit was really
Important.
drunk. Technically,
Yes,
what I had to do
important.
was get an unfun amount of pants drunk. But, life goes on. Yeah. Now you have a straight shot to Blackstone Tower, just about probably 2 days of travel to get out, considering you're still technically in the midst of craggy, sandy hills and depths at this point. Takes a little bit to pull free.
Do we need a travel check, or are we good?
Yes, but the
Is it
DC
2
is
days?
very low the moment you're within 1 square of Blackstone Tower.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Hang on.
Okay, we have the vehicles.
I
With
helped.
the Skavivel.
Should probably label that actually.
Pets.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Yep, travel check. Oh.
I forgot I had to do them.
Wow, even the DC was like down because it was really not that hard. You guys make it
I know.
there with no issues to hold you up.
Would you say it was smooth
Question.
sailing?
Question
Maybe answer.
for the team. Now that we are out in the open, and we happen to have something with us that the god would enjoy.
Yeah, we do have the Shard of Divinity.
Oh yeah, I forgot we were going to do that this session.
Yeah.
For some
Yeah.
reason, I thought it was in the we did it last session. It's been a while.
No,
Alright,
it's been
yeah.
a hot minute.
Yeah, well, the divinity's on Ralu, so she'll just pull it out. Oh wait, no, she gave it to Karin. She's gonna ask if Karin wouldn't mind if she fondled her tits again.
We just open the blouse up, be gentle.
Vigente. Mi amor.
Reach in and grab the shard of divinity. Walk back up to the I guess what's it called? I almost said conning tower, but to the main
Crow's
deck.
next.
No, I'm not gonna yell at her
All
from a
the
crow's
way up the
nest.
crow's nest just to annoy him. They
Yes.
spawn and have to walk down it. It's also you can stare at her ass while she's on a ladder.
All right, yeah, and then yeah, she'll pull it out and damsel, we found another shard for you.
Yeah, and then you hear a soft wolf whistle coming from probably behind you, from an individual who's just sitting on the ship's railing, hair being tossed carefree into the air by the motion of the ship as it begins to work its way up to proper heading speed. Why, you all do work oh so fast. Greetings again, my lovely dears.
Hey.
She
How you
will
feeling?
hold out both hands so as to receive people to scritch.
Cass is already like head under hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cass already had taken off as soon as he heard her voice.
Yep.
Wasn't even listening.
Into the scritch position. Yeah, she just does the typical, there's a dog in the house who's very fond. The hand goes out somewhere like waist height and then whoop, there's a Cass underneath it. And she will scritch. I'm doing okay, I would say at the moment. There was a little crossover of my glorious adventurers, she gestures at the lot of you, and the new god, the Lake Lady's little adventurers. Nothing you need to particularly worry about. There was a brief fight that occurred, but
What, between
I
you
dove in.
and... What's her name?
Oh, no, they were in a fight and I got to dramatically appear in the middle of it.
Oh,
So,
cool.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm riding that high. And that's also saw fit to deal with a number of the creatures constantly on Divinity's tail, such as it were.
Speaking of, Ralu will, by this point, has walked over and will plop the shard of divinity in her hands. The hand that's not busy scritching grass.
Of course. She will smile and give it a good look over before doing a particularly familiar motion and putting it between her own cleavage, although you suspect that there is not and does not need to be a bag of holding there to hide anything. After a moment's concentration, all of you can smell the sort of ozone-y crackle of power, like a thunderstorm waiting on the edge that sets your teeth just clenching shut for a moment. Some weird reality is reasserting itself around you and everything feels a little bit more here, a bit more solid and present. Cass distinctly, she's in physical contact with you. It's not like any pressure on you has increased, but it's almost like the contact that's with you is more certain and literal. It's very difficult to describe an ephemeral sense of someone is there and they're even more there than they were before. But that's sort of what you all instinctively pick up on.
Cass purrs.
So the sensation of localized anesthesia slowly removing from the skin.
More like you think a situation is deja vu, and then you remember very clearly. Oh no, this one actually did quite literally happen before, exactly like this. It's like surety, as opposed to I suppose any kind of physical bliss.
Oh, don't worry, I have very vivid dreams. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, cool. Oh yeah. Now that she is more certain in this world, the certainty principle continues to roll onwards as it do. Damja will give you a cheeky little rub and let Cass free. Oh, that was good. And I see you've also been very busy messing around with old Mr. Wishboy.
Yes, indeed.
Something
It was
like.
nice.
We all heard he owes you one. Very interesting that is.
Yes.
One wish untangled. Not so much of a Gordian knot.
Yes. I am sure you've had the term a monkey is poor. I believe he has offered you one that is not that.
Quite
Yes.
right.
A rare gift in the... a unique gift, I suppose. He's never done that before. So, you know, you should already be counting yourselves like very special snowflakes, but you can count yourself special. I'm very proud of my adventurers.
Oh, shucks.
She will smile that perfect smile. I'm starting to feel this is all old hat, but is there anything I could do for you while I am here in the flesh and power?
Well, we did find Cass did get himself an extra dimensional little love palace, if you wish to join us.
Yes, our shrine. I remember it well. I was wondering where Arcane hid that. There are a
How
couple of
about
little
more-
shrines hither and thither.
How about a more practical sense? Anything you can empower, or any insights you can give us on our journeys?
I can't just give that out. I'm giving you the opportunity to be a bit more specific in your request. Is there something you have that you would like me to throw God Juju at? Is there some kind of knowledge you wish to acquire?
Well, do
Can
we have
you-
anything that is buried in secrets? Or has a
Can you-
secret to it?
Can you create
Legend
a,
lore, that could be done. No problem.
can you create a magical item more powerful?
More powerful than what, sorry?
It is already magical, but Masika's been looking to make her weapon more of itself.
Why? Speak literally. What do you want this thing to do? What does it do?
Oh,
More of itself. She rolls her eyes.
gesture at Masika.
What kind of member of the Saurasian Pantheon do you think I am? Walking around in circles. Masika, what is your stick and what does it do?
My stick is let's see, it takes a little bit of my blood and then turns into a one of 3 weapons.
Okay. And would you like those weapons to be, as Ralu has put it, more of itself? Squints as though that means anything.
More of itself. Yeah.
That just adding another damage die.
Yeah, adding I'd like to do more damage with them.
So you'd like it to be stabbier, or would you like it to maybe make an explosion when it hits someone?
Either or.
I
think
love
the
how
explosion would be
specific you
funnier.
are. The explosion. You know what? That's perfect reasoning. Go on, then give it here. Hold out a hand
Sure,
for your
sure, sure.
stick. Does the old
Out of
casual...
character.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. When you said explodier and then it's damn shit, then it's just chaos and fucking be like, yeah, sure. When you crit, you will do 1 fireball at location.
Oh no!
Alternatively, when you crit, you cast Khassid's climactic caress on the target.
That was kind of what I was going to put on it.
Ah!
Alright, what was the name of this item before? Is it in your list? Of many
It's the
things?
staff of flowers,
That was it. Okay.
blade of flowers, even.
Blade of flowers. Yeah, no, there's no staff there. Alright, blade of flowers. Okay.
Oh, great! Did I just go for a crit? I meant to go for a.
No, it's not just you'll see in a moment.
Oh,
It's,
thank goodness. Okay.
It should be interesting.
Winter, you did say you wanted your stick to be more stickier, so...
Well, Damsa is clasping stick. Khassid is going to take the opportunity to just kind of worm a little closer and put hand on tummy.
Yeah. She hasn't got like a tremendously noticeable bump. It's just like a little bit softer than you remember, and goodness, do you ever remember being up very close?
We'll just kind of rub it a little bit. How's this coming along?
Quite warm and toasty is how I would describe it. Haven't had life quite literally flowering inside me for a hot minute, that's for sure. And then waking up was a whole lot of forgotten experiences, re-experienced.
And is getting more divinity shards, is it gonna make, like, I mean, you just got one now, right? Is that gonna make the baby super duper special?
I mean, if this keeps up, there's a very high chance that there'll be another god in the Pantheon, as it were. Much like in the same way Ninian came to being.
As excited as you all get about God Baby, I still believe we should spread out the rest of the shards to others.
The other gods weren't fractured like Damsha was. Everyone else is whole and hearty. And Damsa is quite literally more important to at least 3 of us than any of the other gods are.
I mean...
She's carrying one of our children.
Yeah, I mean in a, like, personal, filial sense.
Correct. That's what I meant.
Alright.
How many more shards are there?
That's a good question. There could be... Yeah, it could be endless numbers. At the moment, it's unlikely we'll be creating any more shards. We're all kind of hoarding our divinity in order to fight abyssal creatures that would eat it. It's all over the place out there. Anytime one of us would...
Amazing.
Anytime one of us would... I suppose lapse in our duties, a hole will open up in the land and start swallowing reality itself. So we're all rather busy preventing that from happening. And it does take a little from all of us at all times, but we're getting there.
Including all the members of the Dark Pantheon.
Yes, of course. I count as that.
Yes, I know you are, but...
How whole?
Rest of them.
A hole, yes.
No, how whole are you?
Oh, how whole am I? I mean, I've got 3 very applicable holes, but I suppose you mean the one with W in front. How whole am I? I'm about as whole as I could ever get, but it is not a permanent thing at the moment. With the end of days sort of knocking on everyone's respective doors, those of us who get more have more to give, and I suspect that in time, considering I'm watching over my little adventurers here, I'm giving quite a bit. As is Pythoon. He might need the next shard you scoop up.
It may be prudent to hang on to any further shards in case of an emergency.
Us hang on to it.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, let's hang on to it, and then we can spread them out in an emergency if some gods.
Something
start
happens to one of
losing.
the other gods and they expend themselves, then there is a shard on hand to recover them,
We were
rather
just
than
told that
having to go hound one down.
we were told that Python is going to need the next one.
Possibly
Then
need
after
the next
that.
one.
Potentially the next one. If you're giving away the next one you get, Thuni will be probably second most consumed, probably first most now that I've gotten a fresh bump of the good stuff. It would be Ninian, but she's borrowing from Nefri in order to sort of keep herself all together.
I suppose the most prudent thing would just be ask you or Python who needs it the most next time.
She spreads her hands. Of course. Although you'd be hard-pressed to find any of us going, well, you know. And then then she does the eyelash flatterer at you all, and you'll feel your heart punch you in the throat for a moment. As that godly magic washes over. It would be hard-pressed not to want it for ourselves each time.
I see.
Oh, surely there's got to be some member of the Pantheon who's a close to neutral arbiter.
I wonder if we could
She just
simply
clicks her tongue and ponders before shaking her head. No, all of us would welcome more power. It's just the reality of us. Some intrinsic part of our nature.
I wonder if we could just simply ask our own. I'm missing the word. Not multi-pantheonist. The cleric on our ship.
Omnitheist.
Yeah, omnitheist.
I suppose so. I forgot you have that neat hiding down low.
Yeah, she's down there.
You should force them out into the sun, get them watered every once in a while.
New faith pound requirement.
But she hates
It's
that.
either-
She does, but it's a necessary part of life to do things you hate from time to time.
She's just down in the hole, eating Cheetos.
Yeah,
Like
she is.
access.
She's really Cheeto maxing right now. And yes, like taxes, I suppose. Although cool kids don't do taxes. Just scoffs offhandedly.
Yeah, fuck taxes.
Taxes
don't
are
let
for
the-
people who are too poor to get away with not paying them.
Yeah, don't let that catch up to you here in the mortal world.
Tamsa just scoffs. Luckily, wherever I go, I am my own sovereign territory.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, if they try and take taxes from you, I'll get them.
Oh no, we pay the taxes.
Newly
responsibly.
minted landowner cast just eyes sparkling like,
Oh my god, I love you, Damsel.
It's just they're a lot lower after many charitable donations.
Ah, you know, I do like that. You know, that's how temples got big in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Nods sagely. Yes. The gods have always been helping you get through your taxes. Some people just aren't, eyes wide to the nature of it.
It's still amazing that in other cities, the tax collectors aren't heavily armed.
I mean,
Well,
they're
they are
pretty
when they
scary
travel.
in Dorado, but like sometimes you're just an archmage and can get away with it. Turn them into newts. Their weapons don't matter.
A toad taxes.
Is that why you want to be an archmage then? Like looking at Anai.
What, for the big fat
No.
tax cut? No, I think that your little dream is very admirable, young Anai.
Oh, thank you.
More pretty things in the desert. Not just pretty people. Go figure. Anyway, I should not keep you all too long, but... Well, you do so happen to have one of mine and Python's little shrines. It would be a shame if we didn't break it in for a little while.
I do have a question before you do so.
Okay.
How does one go about changing a god?
You can't. We are immutable concepts. You'd have to change the meaning of a concept.
9 through the means of a wish of another's.
I very much doubt it.
Damn.
Quirked a brow. Ah, I see. No, good luck there. Honestly, they want taking out back and shooting, but... there will always be more. I've made my little mistakes, and I was about to say I would own up to them, but that doesn't suit me either.
So, even if there was that mantle was removed from them, it would simply fall on someone else.
Probably. Might not happen for a long time, but it would happen eventually. Maybe it wouldn't be my fault next time, but it would be someone's fault.
Anai 1,000 years from now. God damn it! I told you stay away.
There should be something being done for them.
Spreads her hands. I'm sorry, you have my suggestion, but... honestly.
Do I
Sometimes
actually
the
have a
world
suggestion? I
needs
don't
a...
remember what her suggestion
Her
was.
suggestion was they want taking up back and shooting. But honestly, the world needs a little bit of evil in it. And if that evil comes with orgasms, then it's a little bit more... it's an easier pill to swallow.
Phrasing.
Dude, that shit was so scary.
This feels like every other person we
Treat
tried
them
to
like
come
garbage
across, we
dad
tried to
treats raccoons.
Yeah, you weren't paying attention? There was a rabid raccoon in Guard's backyard, and they called the cops.
Right.
The cops were like,
Yeah, that
yeah,
shit's terrifying.
we don't want to show up today. Can we wait till tomorrow?
Fucking psychos.
It's
This
just
feels
like,
like
what?
every other-
There's a rabid raccoon in the backyard right now.
In character, please.
This feels like every other person we come across, we try to redeem, and every other evil thing we come across, we try to help and stop being evil. Feels we should give a shot for them as well, instead of just
Well, they're not
grossing up
being
society.
evil explicitly. They're just being something that's not very pleasant.
What?
Okay, no, they are being something very pleasant, but without that whole consent thing.
Gods are just people-shaped concepts. Not just, I don't mean it like that. But I understand that you wish to alter the concept of this god, but I'm pretty sure that just means it's gonna come back a different way later. There's always gonna, unlike the Golden Mother who preens at being one, this is actually one.
Yes, would you like a little spoiler?
Yes.
Sure.
Go ahead. Why not?
There used to be another god, and it was called the god of slavery.
Well,
What
It's
happened to
quite
it?
expunged. What do you think happened to it? Got taken out back and shot, as it were.
Yeah, but by who? When?
None of your business there.
That part
Is
doesn't-
it?
what
I'm
does
not
matter
about to
is
go
that-
telling you about, details of someone or something that has been quite so thoroughly expunged.
Is it
Those
going
parts
to
don't matter.
eventually coalesce again?
Imagine
did.
it did in the Cadist. Is that
There you
right?
go, correct.
So
But
do you
they're
want
not
to
the
just...
gods of slavery, though. They're the gods of bondage and bacchanalia.
Yes, and now you can probably see where the crossover is.
This is probably the best just to keep her as she is. But what if we kill her again, and what if we change her again, then she just becomes the god of slavery again? We don't know.
It's altogether possible. Or you could find something else that's conceptually close to slavery. And maybe you'll get the god of taxes.
I think... I'm not sure which is worse, the god of slavery or the god of rape.
She spreads her hands.
In-
There isn't a good answer. I'm sorry.
I
Well,
don't understand how they became a god of rape, though,
I-
when Bacchanal itself is just festivals and partying.
It's because I put a little bit of my oomph on it. Very irresponsibly, I might add.
I would also like to point out that caste, slavery and rape aren't mutually exclusive. They're usually together.
Yeah, I know, but like, there's
It's
a clear emphasis
context-centric
one
flavor.
way or the other.
Yes, yes. They're
So if you
both
could do
pretty.
something, you do
Pardon?
something about your oomph, then they'd actually just go back to being about partying and everything else then. Or would they still be like they are?
No, they would stop being divine if you undid that. Well, no, they'd be divine. They would go back to being Higgins' little good girls, but then you'd be leaving this concept of slavery out and free-flowing. I can happily take Bacchanalia back, but, you know.
I will say
Maybe-
this.
Hold on.
It's
Hold on. Maybe instead of like slavery, they could nudge that towards like feudal obligation. You know, the chains of society.
servitude.
Yeah, the god of taxes.
Yeah, like basically.
Like, that's. I'm saying there is some merit to that, but you would have to have a pretty clear and concise concept laid out and prepared for them. And then, yeah, I suppose you could go about undoing them if that were there.
I still think the most salient thing to do would be putting a stop to another tyrant attaining godhood.
In what way?
If the Golden Mother does achieve all of her goals, we might as well just have another goddess of slavery running around.
That would be easy. You could get two birds in one stone. Get rid of the Cadist and create a goddess of your Golden Mother of the abhorrency of slavery. I suppose it would be Goddess of the Conquered or something fancy like that, but we all know what it means.
Concept conquest isn't that bad, I guess.
I'd sooner
That
wish her out of
doesn't sound
existence than allow her to attain godhood.
Well,
which is why
you could
I
also
believe,
do-
which is why I believe we should use the wish to align her goals closer to what my own are. You won't
I
necessarily
wish to
seek
give her
godhood.
some kind of rancid brain hemorrhage, but sure.
If we turn the strongest standing army in the deserts to the ideal that the strong are born to protect the weak, it would be a very good weapon against what we're facing.
Probably.
It's easier than trying to change the concept of a god. We're just altering the ideals of a, well, now immortal woman.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't devoured any divinity yet, I'm fairly certain. At least I've not heard rumblings of that.
Damsel just smiles and spreads her hands again, in a way that's probably getting quite annoying at this point.
Yeah, listen, Ralu's not really expecting answers from her.
If you ask her a direct question, then yeah, she might tell you something, but positing things aloud, she isn't always going to just jump in with an answer for you.
Okay, well, Ralu will directly ask, has she devoured any divinity yet? Is that why the legions are on campaign?
No, she is attempting to acquire power, but the form that takes is probably going to be anything but divine. She continues down the way she's going. It'll look divine by the end of things, but, you know.
Is she likely to become one of those heralds of the abyss then on the route she's going?
It's more likely than not. Whether she intends to be a herald of the abyss or not is another matter.
Oh.
You should ask Kyla. Sanity is a two-way street.
I very much believe then we should use our wish to turn her from that path. We don't need more elder god things running around, especially not at the helm of a great army. And I'd rather not see my home and my sisters and my parents and, you know, the entire manticores of the deserts all turn into the monsters that they've been turned into, like the last place we went to.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Do as you will. My idea for the wish has already been shot out and taken around back.
For what it's worth, I am sorry. Cons- High-minded conceptual things are very difficult to.
Yeah, but the difference is with that is that instead of like trying to just condense it down into one point, you split it into multiple different. Instead of one god
Yes.
of all these things, you have 3 different.
And what happens
gods.
when one of those 3 different gods gets more and more power? You're not really making the problem worse. You're not making the god weaker by that. You're just making
Yeah, but
3
you
different
change the
gods that you have to run
concept.
around.
Instead of, like I said, instead of slavery, servitude, bond, like that,
They're
like
all the
servitude,
same by
bond,
very,
loyalty.
very different, just pretty words for essentially all of that.
Yeah,
Bondage is the term that's
yeah.
already given to servitude or to contract. It's where the word comes from, really.
And the
A
Cadist,
bond, not of tying each other up and fucking. That was my own personal spin on things.
and the Cadist isn't a direct threat. The Golden Mother is. The Cadist just exists and goes around doing her stuff.
So what
She's
what
going around and
exactly are you
uses
saying we
people.
spend our wish on, like, specifically?
I suggest spending our wish, and I would probably ask Hagen for the exact wording, but to alter the Golden Mother's course. She is, as it is, a tyrant that relishes tormenting the weak. I would change. I would inscribe upon her very soul the ideal of the strong are born so they can protect the weak.
Hmm.
The mighty are born to protect the weak. Killing without reason or gain is a petty pleasure of sadistic fools.
Not sure how much Hagen would approve of the idea of blowing a wish to brainwash somebody, but
It's better than letting her continue on her path and then becoming a monster, or
well, yeah.
us dealing with that ourselves and then causing interscene succession war
Well,
while the world is ending.
what if we just convince the Golden Mother to do that, like, on her own?
I I know you were able to usher me that way, but remember, to get to that point, I had also experienced complete ego death.
Well,
I
yeah,
spent
but
I spent weeks wandering, raving mad in the desert, and you saved me from the Black Blade to re to do all of that again to a woman that has been raised all of her life to be the next Golden Mother. I do not think is possible.
well, what if we give her ego death too?
I don't think that will help. I don't even know how we would be able to do that, but
That sounds
you
like
would
a thing
have.
you could do with a wish. Just
But then we would have to
But
spend a bunch of time uh shepherding her towards our ideals rather than simply uh wishing that she takes her duty of office with more noblesse oblige.
well, yeah, but at least
It's
in
not
that
like she'll
case,
stop it's not like she'll stop being a warrior or a great conqueror, but the people she'll kill and conquer will be monsters from beyond, slave bands, etc.
yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with your point. It's just, brainwashing someone doesn't sit right.
Listen, I do
well,
not
it
relish
is.
this either. This entire conversation is treason. However, for the sake of everyone in the Oasis, including all of the Collared who really wish they weren't, this is a much lesser sin than all that will be, has, and will ever be committed in her name.
Hmm. I guess. I don't know.
It
In
is
this
the
case,
less.
you have to ask. You have to ask what's the worth of your conscience?
I will do it, and I will bear it myself. I do not mind that weight if my children can live in a society where they're not conscripted at the age of 16. I I don't think you understand how many people died to make her immortal. I was friends with a lot of them. The only survivors of that legion were the legate, my friends, and a handful of girls out of 1,000. And if she continues as she is, she's not only going to spend my kind's lives, but the life of everyone that gets in her way, like in Vittoria's dream.
I understand that.
I will, if I am allowed to, I will make the wish and I will carry that sin into the future. Better for me to carry it uh, than any of you, and for the hope of the future of the Great Oasis.
I just...
Uh,
I feel like we should at least give a shot. We haven't even... None of us other than you have even met her.
No, but I have seen work in her name. You don't need to. m- You do not need to meet someone to know them by their work. I have strode through fields of impaled corpses.
Meow? Oh wait, that was something. What the hell was that?
What the hell was what?
Sorry, I had something. Didn't realize I had something going on in the background. I
Oh,
just
you
heard the cat meow.
hear meowing from a tab.
I thought that came from someone else's microphone.
Just while I'm talking, someone's meowing in the background.
No, Kina's computer is the fucking mewing.
Ha! Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. And this is the best way to it.
I'd still like to meet her first, just to see what this big bad bitch is like, and then wish her into a good girl and can see the change in her eyes.
Alright. But,
Big finger gestures.
just try not to. That's impossible, especially for Anai. Don't flirt with her. We won't be able to get you back if she claims you.
Well, she's not too far to the north of us.
Yes. I suppose we can wait until after we meet her, and then, I mean, you can see for yourself, but I highly doubt that the person that has ordered the impalement of entire villages that didn't surrender as soon as we appeared has gotten any more kind now that she is also immortal.
Immortal by our own faults, too.
You know what? That is a good question. Now, no. We don't. No. Let me just stop you.
No one
Let's
was
just
talking.
ask. No. Listen. Why don't we ask Damsa here for a little bit of information? Hey, Damsa,
Yes.
would you happen to be able to show us the Golden Mother currently and how she's acting and talking? In any form of like
I
play
suppose
or
so.
scrying?
Yes, I guess so. Not a terrible idea.
Oh,
But you're cutting deeply into my like blowjob time. But sure.
Hey, if you need some divine power, you can just suck all the spells I got.
No, it's
Right out of me.
fine. I'm talking about literal time, not energy time. I'm quite alright. especially after I've been freshly juiced. All tingly with the goodness.
Yeah, understandable. But like I said, let's just end the discussion. Let's see and hear how this Golden Mother is via the eyes of just whilst we present a god.
Makes sense, makes sense. Very well. She'll, as opposed to like get up off of the like side of the ship, she'll just push herself forward so that she slides forward and is just earmuffs around Cass, just on your shoulders now. At which point she will reach out to the side and gesture into being a particularly large mirror. Looks to be made of some kind of black silver for the like main body of it. The wrapped images of like dragons eating their own tails wrapping all the way around it. The front face of the mirror, though, is glorious, shiny, and deeply reflective, showing unto you everything. Well, everything you're looking at the very least, is being reflected in such prime clarity that it feels like a trick of the eyes, like you're seeing through this mirror in a higher hertz than your eyes are used to. Everyone's movement is strangely like fluid. Go on then, I'm sure you've heard of these kinds of things in fairy tales before. Ask the mirror a question and make it fancy and fun. A rhyme.
What, like mirror, mirror on the wall, show me the mother who shines above all?
That's a particularly good one. Well done. And as she does so, the mirror will go from its beautiful crystal clarity to a fuzzy fogginess, in which there are a number of humanoid type shapes moving around as though you were quite literally looking at them through a thick fog, until it gradually gains sharpness and comes into focus slowly, all together, and you see this individual.
Holy shit, that's a huge bitch!
A huge lady!
Yeah, she is a
Nice.
good bitch. That's why she's Golden Mother.
I mean, like, she's like how many miles across? It's
She's
190, 168. Yay.
She was 168-mile woman.
she's quite pretty, your mother.
Like grandmother, yes.
Grandmother, sorry.
I'd
Yeah,
tap that if she
she
wasn't
is.
such a huge bitch.
Yeah, Damsel will nod sagely. You and most of Ceres. And yeah, you can see that this lady is currently sitting upon a throne what appears to be made of solid gold. She herself is dressed in what looks to be particularly nice, like lorica and bronze panoply, upon which is, I would say, it probably would have been covered in adornments and shining fixtures, but is at this point battle scarred and stained with blood that cannot any longer be removed. The only part of her that's truly golden, besides her hair and eyes, is this shining crown that rests upon her head, held aloft by piercings in her ears. This crown gives off light in a fashion not dissimilar to the little sun that walks around with Mai floating honourably with you all.
She does
As
look
the
like she
views-
could be a Hagenite, huh?
Yeah, there is a nod from Damja's part. The sun is a very, I guess, a worshipped thing. It always has been. It's responsible for everything and all life. It makes sense that those who have such dispositions about themselves and ideals of godhood would themselves the same try to be responded to as the sun.
Are you saying that she wants to be gloriously incandescent?
I'm saying she already is, besides being a massive bitch. And indeed, this beautiful woman, as the view zooms out, shows her upon this throne, and at her side are a number of, like, heavily, heavily armored manticores. There's absolutely no way their wings would lift them off the ground in this thick plate they're wearing, out there looking like fucking Fire Emblem Knight boys.
Guys, why are you wearing the Tarkus armor? You have wings. Do you even have the Havel's ring? Come on now.
Yeah, no, they are incapable of flight wearing this armor. Not that they've ever needed it. They are deadly, fierce warriors. And if the Golden Mother's armor is stained with blood and combat from ages and many lifetimes, the armor of her personal guard is so pristine as to reflect the light of her crown across the room in a fashion that blinds those looking at them directly. Luckily for most, they aren't looking directly at the Golden Mother or her honor guard. Their eyes are fixed quite firmly on the ground. She is in a large pavilion tent that would be more suited to the circus than it would be to war, and yet it is so. It is a massive structure, and it is filled with people going about the busy work of war itself. You can hear violence in the background, blood and death. And the Golden Mother sits there, face completely impassive. She contemplates something unknown to you all.
I'm not sure exactly what you wanted to see. They're currently on campaign against beings of the Outer Realm, not impaling local villages.
Yeah. She
Wait,
does look rather temperate right about now, doesn't she?
I got an idea. A thought, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What if we blow our wish, making her take the place of the Cadist as an, like, Archangel of Hagen? Just fill her with holy light all of a sudden. Let
Without
old
changing her
sunshine do the work.
personality or something like that. That sounds like a bad idea.
You would be leaving the concept of slavery out there in the open again. It would probably become her domain.
Well, no. I mean, leave the Cadists alone where they are right now. But they left, like, they used to be Archangels of Hagen, right?
Ah, you're saying you want to deify her,
Yeah.
but
I'm
on
saying
your
that's
terms.
a bad idea without changing her personality or ideals.
Right.
You're
That's
just
think
why
what
we
Cat-
using
give
power
her a
of Hagen
direct line
instead.
to Hagen. Let
I think
the
that's what Cass meant. I have not met Hagen, but I specifically avoided him because Cass told me about his effect on people.
Yeah. If anyone can redeem somebody from the pits of cruelty, it would be the sun god himself. The, like, originator of all kindness.
Well, nowadays he
Yeah.
used to put people on burning crosses.
Well,
You
maybe
sure
that would
didn't
help
save
them
the
bridge a connection of a sort.
sure didn't help those vampires that were followers of his and only accidentally became them.
Again, that's
That
back
was
in his.
during his grim years, yeah. That was his Old
that's-
Testament years,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
See, she can follow the path of Hagen.
I suppose it's risky, but
Well,
if anyone could just blind her with.
Science.
Isn't one of his titles now the Redeemer?
Probably.
yeah.
I
He's
Maybe,
just
still
the
don't
god
like
of
the idea.
light, good, and the sun are traditionally what he is referred to, but the Redeemer is not an unfair description for him.
maybe, we could make the wish at the same time we offer up unto Hagen a divinity shard. One after next we get, if Python needs the next one.
I suppose, but it just seems. No, it's fine. I prefer. My life is by facing problems head on. I like to do a simple and direct solution. If you want to do an incredibly circuitous solution, I don't like it, but I'm not going to just seize the wish that was given to all of us.
I
And
still
so you
don't
want
know
to-
on it. I don't believe it to be a good idea, just giving her a massive power. Even if there is a line to Hagen, she can easily break it.
I don't think that's something you can easily do. And that's sort of the
don't-
point.
I don't know. I could
Yeah,
probably
okay.
break. Never mind.
Well,
Tom's
yeah, you can break
blow
it
You
nails.
exactly.
could.
When the,
Miss
yeah, and
Goddess.
that led to
Again-
the results of the Cadist and everything like that.
Again, my concern is if she becomes a fallen angel.
That's precisely
She has
what
to
I'm
be given
saying.
a reason to fall. As I said, I could. You know, when people look at someone and go, "I can fix them. I can make them worse."
I will give her the evil eye, like as she keeps saying this.
Well, let me
I'm
just...
saying though, you could fix her.
I can fix her.
Can I... Can... This mirror. Right, it just has
Yes.
to be rhyme, right?
Yes.
Dead silence.
I love watching the gears tick in people.
Cass is gonna
Mirror, mirror,
accelerate.
this is the first. Can you show this Gondor's mother's thing that she did first? So that we are not coerced.
Can the mirror go show us time?
There is a slow
worst
head
thing-
shake from on Damja's part. I'm sorry you can't scry something that currently isn't. It's very much a tool of the present.
Ah, so
I
it
mean,
can't.
I could tell you because I lived it. At least the
Okay.
worst I've seen. And I already did tell you the worst I've seen. She
Yeah.
killed
Yes,
over.
She's a-
I
she
know,
is
but-
a colossal dickhead, yes, it's fair.
Yeah, that's what I was trying, like, see if it could show, like, all the nasty shit she's done. Was
It isn't there anymore.
I think you really want to expose yourself to all that at once anyway.
The mirror starts to
Right.
change and Dam's just gonna like put a hand on it and it will stop changing. She'll be like, I'm going to save you the trouble of seeing a mass grave, okay?
Yes, please do not have to show us that.
And then she'll take a hand off the mirror again. You can ask again if you really want to see it, but I don't think you do.
If we're getting into grim shit like that, I'm gonna go downstairs into the box.
The box.
I'm very excited to go into this box and see my shrine.
I bet you're excited to go into
Yeah,
the box.
I think we've
Same.
argued.
Yeah, pitch.
I think we've argued the point enough, and from now on, we're just gonna go in circles.
yeah, it's
We've largely made our decision. You guys can look upon the Golden Mother yourself if you want to convince you, but the two stances are either change her personality or don't change her personality, make her into an angel, and make Hagen change her personality.
yeah. I'm like, just fix her and then like done.
It's my vote too.
Yeah, it's like
But
I say like
we can decide.
if Damser really if Damser just really stopped the mirror from showing a mass grave of a current situation, that should be a pretty good indicator.
She probably
be
was
like-
just going to show you the mass grave of rotting corpses in their wake.
Yeah, the like
Yeah.
things left behind. It would not be an active mass grave for sure. She's been busy doing other shit that's not causing a mass grave. But it would certainly take you to one. It would be like saying, "Show me the evil wrought by World War II," and it just takes you to a monument of Versailles. Like, you know, it's kind of the effect you'd be getting.
You just saw fly by over fucking Bundeswehr and fucking Auschwitz there.
Yes, exactly. Like you don't need this mirror to play like the greatest hits of times gone past.
We keep records of it.
Yeah, nor do I, as the DM, want to recount those kinds of horrendous descriptions.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Danja will
Yeah.
press her hand down, and the mirror will just sort of like fold away into nothing. There we go. Put that back where it belongs.
Well, with that
Yeah.
incredibly depressing conversation out of the way, who's coming down into the box?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I need time to myself to sort things out.
Understandable.
Recommend meditation.
Masika, Loam, Karin, do you wish to join us? I already know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
answer for one of you.
I'm good.
Damsel will look to Loam. I mean, it is polite as well to ask. Would you be liking to join us this time? I know that you have yet to partake of the holy flesh.
No.
Oh well.
I'm surprised Cassis just doesn't pipe up. She's really into big hunky man.
Well, the mouse is being busy working on
Yeah,
something
but,
else.
I mean, right now, Cass can barely hear anything anyone's saying now that these earmuffs are on his fucking
That's
head.
true.
Our character now I just fucking thought of like a very weird thing to be for Karin to say because Bear has good sense of taste and smell. Be like, nah, preg bitches taste weird.
Huh?
Everyone disliked that.
What? Sometimes things should stay inside of your head.
Lock the door to the inner thoughts.
I think Loma's gonna go play around with some food in the kitchen while that's going on.
I mean, it's
I
not
don't
like
have-
you're gonna hear it.
I don't have cooking trained, but I'm going to just see
You're
what
just
happens.
gonna get stoned and make a sandwich.
Make a sandwich with chips in it.
Just gonna go down and make a shaggy sandwich.
Just have Kira with you being Scoob.
Yep.
Oh, you
Question.
got the alchemist there. If you need a fucking eldritch being, you have the alchemist.
Question. Could I make a meal that is particularly medicinal for helping the others recover from their
Escapades?
escapades with a medicine check?
A medicine? Yeah, you could also make a poisonous kit test.
Guys, I made you Gatorade.
I'm going to make a medicinal soup.
The protein
steak.
broth. It's got electrolytes and steak in it.
I may as well. I have no reason not to.
At 20?
Yeah. It is a quote-unquote simple recipe from likely a medical journal that you've checked before, and it is, but best described as like a high-protein broth. It's usually used in the, like, either people who are in long-term recovery or people with, like, long-standing muscular injuries and stuff who are, like, doing personal training, that kind of thing.
With ginger.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, the usual stuff, and it's a proteiny broth, probably fish heavy, and fish and ginger.
Are you guys doing this in some kind of like extra dimensional somewhere?
Yeah, they're doing it in the extra dimensional, like
in a fuck palace inside one of those chests.
Cassis told me he refers
Inside
to it
one
as
of the chests.
Cassis told me he refers to it as the bang box.
We got a couple of chests from a dungeon a while back. I'm using one as a workshop for doing work in, and I believe Masika's with another. And then Cask has the one that is basically a bachelor pad with a magical hot tub.
Remember the golden Loam statue that you got? Same place. You got the chests.
Down in the hold?
Down, yes.
I suppose I will take.
Golden Loam statue.
I suppose I will take this. I'll take the pot of this down to wherever the chest is, and a stack of bowls or mugs or whatever, and just leave it there with a message.
I believe that'd be Cass's room. I believe that's where his chest is at.
Yeah,
It's in the captain's room. Because it's the only one with a bed big enough for Ralu to fit in, and you already had a room. And also, you said you didn't want to be in the room where your parents were fucking.
Yeah, that's very true. I still don't.
Still, if
leave.
Again, if we do redeem the Golden Mother, then we could ask for a worship. I mean, we could ask for a worship anyways, but you guys didn't want to be more closely bound to the Oasis while she was being evil. But
I
if
still
she's
don't.
redeemed, we can. But if she's redeemed, then we can get an actual worship that won't break when we run over people. Because
I still don't want to be next to her when she's redeemed either. She has the entire history of the Manticores behind her.
Yeah, there's gonna have to be some kind of a information campaign for a long while to undo what has been wrought.
Well, it's a good thing she's immortal and she can just wait until most people just die of old age.
Yep, but that's not the now. Instead, it would be the heroes walking around inside a like a gigantic fucking
Yeah, that's what we're
evil
doing.
vessel.
Yeah, but no, we just repaint it. It'll be fine.
Scratch the fucking ID code off.
Scratch the VIN number off it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've VIN swapped our boat.
Yeah, it's not like
Yeah,
the Manticores aren't shipwrights. They buy their ships from other people.
also
Yeah.
just switch out the license plate, remove the Tesla mark and set Toyota on it.
I
There you
mean,
go.
probably be washing all of the blood and like snipping off all the gibbets on the side.
Like I said, remove license plate, remove the Tesla mark and set Toyota on it. There you go.
We'll
Yeah,
just get the
so
sails, and
say
we'll
so.
just get a huge banner, just the sails, and then just get Masika to make a huge engraving of Cass's face doing a thumbs up, so people know we're friendly.
Yes, like Steve-O, the double thumbs up.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yes.
Yeah,
There
no,
we
yeah,
go.
Cass doing the Steve-O double thumbs up is pretty powerful as an image. Yeah, dude.
Man,
God, I love
fucking
Steve-O.
Steve-O.
He's
Yes.
a good
He's grown up into such just like a chill dude
Just a
that just
good
hangs out.
guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, time to go meet our friend.
Yeah.
Cheese time.
It's time to meet the delicious Brienne. The ship continues its smooth sailing journey up to the point where you can see, like on the horizon, in an otherwise abandoned-looking sandbank with a few rocky outcroppings hither and thither, a tower that appears to be made of solid black stone. Outside are a series of tall plinths on which currently non-burning sconces, as it is the middle of the day, are resting. It is a large enough structure to quite comfortably house multiple families by the looks of things, but it is quiet and, for all intents and purposes, looks to be uninhabited. There are no lights shining from portcullis or from arrow slits. It's just a big black stone tower in the middle of nowhere. Still, there is plenty of space to park the ship and pull up outside of what appears to be the entrance to the structure. There's a large series of stone colonnades. And you're able to disembark before the tower.
How zoomed off is Cass already?
Yeah, the second we haven't even fully parked before Cass is leaping over the side, running towards the tower.
Yeah. As you run towards the tower, there is a book reminiscent of a bird hitting a window. As you slam headlong into a force wall.
Don't slowly peel off.
Yep.
Like Looney Tunes.
Yep.
Ralu will not have seen that. She's still mooring. Ralu's still mooring the vessel.
Yeah, you can see on the bottom of this closest column here, it says no solicitors.
Cass's mage hand, he's not even getting up himself, but the mage hand will just knock on the force field.
Yeah. There is a long and quiet pause before you hear a... Is that even audible? No, this tower is almost certainly soundproofed itself. You get the sensation that there is sound up ahead, like dull vibrations in the ground of some mechanism in motion.
The sand beneath you churns.
And up ahead there is a particularly large door, and it begins to slowly open as the party clambers down from the ship. A figure steps out. Looking not dissimilar to how she has been seen before in the past, except she walks on a particularly interesting-looking cane, leaning most of her weight upon the metal structure. She will tap forward, just a little bit forward at a time. It looks like it's a leisurely, difficult process, especially when she reaches the stairs. She
She's
gets
not gonna
quite
do the
close
fucking
to the
Willy
bottom.
Wonka.
Shut up! She gets quite close to the bottom of the stairs and does indeed do the Willy Wonka tumble into standing completely, flipping the cane end over end and resting on her shoulder.
Brienne!
Oh,
She snaps her fingers and there is a shimming as the
And no
force field
suit.
disappears.
And no sooner is that down than
Thump.
aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
And how my heart is warmed to see you all. It has been far too long.
Indeed.
For sure.
I missed you.
Greetings, both again and for the first time.
it's a very circuitous journey to get here, but I'm glad we made it.
Oh, I know. I saw and watched in many cases. Unfortunately, it is difficult to keep a direct eye on you. There's quite a lot of scrying protection on this party.
Well, quite a bit of that's from, gods being involved with this.
Yes, I suspected as much. I can tell when they are visiting because my view of you all gets even screwier.
Makes sense. A bit of magical interference on their part, make sure that they stay hidden from view.
That would be the thought. She will be scritching Cass. And so I bid you a true and genuine welcome. My name is Brienne Blackstone, and this is my tower.
It is good to see you again. Cass is crying.
Aww. Gets the good old scritchies as he's buried down into chest. Rub, 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 rub.
I do have to ask, curious in all this nature and everything like that, why the homunculus to begin with?
Relatively simple. Okay, maybe not entirely simple, but the reasoning for them is simple. I've been alive for a great many years, and my regenerative power has led to a basically unending life. And I did not want to face an eternity completely unchanging. I sent out a blank, or at least sort of filled in simulacra to live a lifetime for me, to gather a whole new experience and see the whole world in some bright, shiny, and different way. Men, women, I've seen them from many eyes, I would say, and grown quite a lot of experience in the process.
Ralu will be trying very badly, but we'll be trying. We'll be trying, but very badly, hiding a smirk and just ask. So, how was it when that one returned to you?
That has only ever happened once before from one of my simulacra. I realized that he was not long for the world after succumbing to a pretty bad injury at that point. So he decided that, much in the same way that Bulga's daughter did, insects-fueled drug heart attack was going to be the best way to go out. Can't say that we snorted off a dragon's ass before, though, so that was certainly new.
Well, You're welcome.
I am very welcome. I am blessed, I would say.
Oh, right. Karin, could you return to her what is hers?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
hope you
have
don't.
many similar copies of this clothing, but I was quite fond of the knife.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope
not
you
just
don't
that,
take
but the
offense to
really
not
expensive
helping.
gem.
One at a time. And
I hope you don't take offense to not helping the drug-fueled sex heart attack.
No, none taken.
Good.
Not many people would be entirely comfortable with the idea.
And I hope you enjoyed it. But we
Oh,
do
I did.
have not only your stuff, but that gemstone you left behind. Karin's been holding
Yes,
on
of
to it for
course.
you.
That would be appreciated. There are not many of those in the world, that is for sure.
Yes, Rach said. No, that's that. Reach is further in. Ah, there it is. About mid elbow. Pulls it out.
Yeah, there's a diamond coin covered in burned silver. Her old outfit, and her song knife.
Yeah.
Very good. She'll roll the coin between her fingers before doing the old what's this behind your ear trick to Cass. And then she'll pocket it again.
So what is that gem anyway?
It is focus in order to perform essentially to support the simulacrum. It's a very complicated spell to essentially intuit a second whole new life out there in the world.
Something to focus it on and keep it bound to the plane exactly then?
Yes, it's just a very, very, very strong spellcasting component.
Makes sense. I understand.
And it has not been used up because, well, I ended before my time. That is somewhere in the realm of a specialty for me, at the very least. I am a blood sorceress.
Mm-hmm.
And the Moon Maiden, as it were.
What's up?
At which point she'll make a little... Oh, she's like a midway through a little gesture at Ralu scythe. It is a sorceress who uses their own blood and others to perform acts of magic.
And when she said Moon Maiden, does she have like the signs of like the Warforged like doll joints or anything like that?
No, she does not herself appear to have any doll joints. She looks to be, for all intents and purposes, admittedly very pale and with makeup to cover over, like, bags under her eyes and that kind of thing. Does just look like a human.
Okay.
But she does have a Moon Mommy symbol hanging off of her belt. But yes, I essentially have two facets of magic. One is this tower, the black stone for which I am named. And the other is blood. All blood. Mine, yours, everyone's. We all scream for blood. Indeed.
Grim, but cool.
Mm-hmm. I can regenerate almost completely indefinitely.
An interesting power.
This is one of her passives.
Stonks.
And the black stone for which she is named. And the blood song.
Nice, nice.
Another passive that she has.
She's about as annoying to fight as the one from the game.
She is an elite skirmisher, and yeah, her attacks, you've seen, of course, the song knife before,
If it ever hits.
if it ever hits. Her pirouette, but her pirouette has been upgraded to the bloody pirouette.
Does she have that one grab hug move where she hugs you, stabs you in the heart, and then dips you to the ground?
The lethal lance. Yes, she does have that.
First time I saw, because I was only able to watch Bloodborne because I don't have a PlayStation. The first time I saw that, I saw why Merzendi was so obsessed with that character.
We also have the
You-
Crimson Fireball and minor action Blood Teleport.
Alright, well, why don't we head inside then and get out of the desert heat, as it were?
Of course. I take it that you would like to spend a little time coming to terms as well with essentially your own experiences, the powers you have utilized between.
Would be good.
Well, I would love to avail you then of my facilities. Please come in. She will gesture you all inside.
Yeah, we'll follow Rain.
Yeah, let me grab all of you. Swoosh you along. When you get inside, there is on the bottom floor this like rising wooden bridge that then pulls you up into this foyer with sofas and library shelves. The very bottommost floor, otherwise, looks to be like uninhabited, quiet blackstone foyer of just silence and dust. But up here, it's considered a lot more lived in, or you can look over the banister down to the depths below. Rather intimidating fall.
Wow,
Just
this
don't
place
sleep.
is neat.
Isn't it just? I'm very proud of this place. Here, let me show you around. Of course, this is the library. Unfortunately, there are very few books of knowledge here. They are almost all just entertainment.
Oh, unfortunate.
Some of them are diaries that I used to keep other guises of me that I went and collected after the simulacrum's passing.
She has all the smutty books that Eloy used to collect. Eloy and Grace.
There's probably like a little chunk of those.
Any simulacrums that were more mage types or archmages or the like?
Some of them, of course, but I found that most of my simulacrum have the same sufferance as I do, in that I'm very impatient, and the studying of magic in the first place is a little bit drier than I particularly enjoy.
Understandable.
That's why you cut it. That's why you cut the studies with vigorous application of martial prowess. Ralu says in Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, it makes sense, it makes sense. And indeed, I have done so beforehand. If you look around, I probably do have books with some kind of lore in them. I have lore of all kinds, primal force, some religious tomes, some, I suppose, tangentially arcane tomes, historical pieces. Although I guess they weren't historical pieces back then, but they are now.
I'll be staying away from religious tomes for next while, I think.
Understandable. Gods are complicated. And if we continue to follow me up the stairs here, she will take you to the next one. And it is a great big vaulted tower room again. It's all of that same solid black stone, but in here is a great big workshop. A place to perform summonings, spell castings, alchemy. Currently there is a little mechanical songbird inside a birdcage at the far end, and it chirps and trills a musical song as all of you enter. Brienne will whistle at the bird and it will go quiet. As this here is the closest thing to a study. I guess I would more adeptly call it an arcana, and occasionally dinner room, dining place. She'll just like gesture. There are definitely like a lot more haphazard piles of things here compared to all of the like the neat orderliness of the library downstairs. Over here, you can in fact see there's just like a chest that just has fucking tons of bullshit just dumped on it, just sort of building up piles in random corners that have been shoved to the sides. As you might guess, I spend a lot of my time here while I'm within myself. And then upstairs is my bedroom, which is probably not as exciting as you might hope. She will continue to escort you through the tower. It is big and dark and intimidating.
It's about as I expected, really.
Rather comfortable, really. A reprieve from the burning sunlight outside.
I like
for
the
sure.
purple.
Just ditch the tea lighting. Don't need it for him. Indeed, it's a nice color scheme. Soft, easy to sleep in. I believe at one point you have watched me in my bed. Weird statement to say, but I suppose in turn I have watched you. She gestures up ahead at these 3 very large mirrors. Weirdly recognizable mirrors of black and silver with long, tall screens to them, borders of which rhymed with what appears to be dragons consuming their own tails.
Don't these mirrors happen to go missing the other day? I suppose this would be one of Dams's personal ones, now I think about it.
Missing? No, I don't think so. They do not move. Although, if you happen to rhyme into them, they will scry for you. These are all of the ones in Ceres, so far as I've been able to tell. I at one point made an effort to go around collecting all of them.
No, really?
Why?
Because I could.
Easy enough.
She shrugs and spreads her hands.
Hey, mind if I borrow?
Oh no.
I do not mind, but... She shrugs. Is there something in particular you're after?
Oh yeah, but I can't continue. I can just sit here and do it by myself.
Very well. Just so you're aware, if you try to open things that you shouldn't, or otherwise invade my privacy or goodwill, this tower will blast you. So please don't do that. I'd feel really bad.
Otherwise, I'll just be here with the mirror.
Very so. I have a question of my own to ask the mirrors later, but that can be held off for a long time.
I find the mirrors are a mixed blessing. They are always there to answer questions, but sometimes you don't know what you should be asking. It feels like a waste to have all of that potential knowledge just sat there, but all the time it's very difficult to stand up and, I suppose, put the time in. Around the time I got tired of asking them questions is around the time I decided to go and find the other ones.
Understandable.
And these can't show the past, right? They just show the present.
Yes, they are scrying. You cannot scry through time. Well, no, I suppose some people can, but it is not within these things' permit.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes. Interacting with time is certainly within the maiden's purview, and she'll gesture up at the ceiling of her room, and then when you look up, you can see that it is a magnificent, like, black, purple, and silver, shining, like, series of an eclipse and celestial symbols all wrapping around themselves.
And yet messing with time is something we should not do often.
No, there are a lot of things that can go wrong with messing with time. I myself do so only very barely touch the borders of time, and it is still dangerous.
Yes, the less we can touch it, the better. But we've had to touch it deeply, it feels.
Oh yes, most certainly. You all smell of time magic quite powerfully.
Unfortunately so. Well, unfortunately for Ralu, but unfortunately in the consequences that things are coming after us from it.
We're fine. If they show
Yes,
up, we'll
you're-
kill them, but Python has our backs.
I was going to say you are remarkably unhunted by the things that try to correct time.
Do they try to correct time, or are they just hungry for people to step into it?
I've never really been able to ask them the very question.
Well, I do have
People
books on this.
attract what is most commonly called a glimmering when they interact with time.
I do have books on the subject, but sadly, I'm going to have to spend most of my time ruminating on my experiences and
Fair enough.
sparring. As I recall, you do owe me a spar at your full power.
Of course, I would be happy to do so.
Ooh,
Brienne, if
that's
you
gonna be fun to watch.
touched with time magic, do you know a way to lessen the aura that we have from it then? Or
Glimmering? Yes, glimmering is something that technically goes away over a long period of time, or by dispersing it, I guess is a good way to put it. Although dispersing glimmering involves standing in places with really high concentrations of magic, then you'd be risking the effects of wild magic, mutations, that kind of thing. So you'd have to go in with quite a lot of preparation if you wanted to dismiss your own glimmering. It puts you at risk in different ways.
I'd rather not do that, even though I do have somewhat of a benefit from the wild magic mutations before.
I imagine so. There are probably, I haven't looked into it myself, but there are probably ways to inure yourself against the wild magic while you're stood in it. It's just a fucking lead-lined hazmat suit so you can stand in the middle of it.
Something to think on then. Oh, thank you. It gives
you're welcome.
something to take the mind off of with regarding that.
Yeah, Mive's tail starts wagging on hearing that there is a way to get rid of glimmering, that's for sure.
I don't suppose you know where one of those areas of, like, super wild magic is.
Oh, sure. I have one under the tower. There's a great big ley line here, but if I poke at it really deeply, I can release essentially a wave of wild magic.
That seems dangerous.
It is, which is why I don't tend to do it, but it is under me. I use the ley line it is here in order to make a simulacrum in the first place.
That makes sense. It seems within the realm of realm magic, as it were.
Correct. Unfortunately, I'm not traditional enough a spellcaster to perform other acts of realm magic. Then again, my tower is not really a realm all to itself, so maybe it is better suited to my own selfishness.
What a shame. I'll get there one day. One day.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel guilty about trying to do this, like, under your house. Don't want to hurt anything.
Oh, please, the Blackstone Tower is more immortal than I am.
How did you come up to get this place anyway? Like, what's its story?
The Blackstone Tower came from... tell me, how familiar are you with elemental chaos?
Not very.
Somewhat, not entirely, but
Everyone just turns to Anai. No, actually, I have expertise in Arcana.
Yeah, you guys can do Arcana tests.
Help each other.
All right. Apparently, I'm very familiar with it.
Yeah, elemental chaos is the new, air quotes, it's the modern name given to the elemental planes. After which they used to be like other planes of fire, water, earth, air. I think that was it. There wasn't really traditionally one of radiance. But at some point in the histories of the elemental planes, they collapsed and sort of smashed into each other, becoming what is known as the elemental plane of chaos. There is no order in the elemental plane anymore, but it is still functional. It has its own peoples that live within it. It has its own like atmosphere, essentially. A lot of demi-planes technically occupy large portions of the elemental chaos itself.
Yeah, as it turns out, I actually had to do projects on this more often than you thought.
Oh, well, I suppose that helps explain things. This is essentially made manifest from large order chunks from the fallout of the collapse of the planes. When elemental chaos came into being, there were, well, You know how actions have reactions, opposites and backward?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Well, the opposite action to all of that chaos was sources of order. It came in the form of particularly large black stones around which normality would be essentially enforced by their own existence.
You mentioned
As
getting magic from the Blackstone as well. Does this tower act as a patron of sorts then?
it is more of a focus than the patron. My patron is a moon maiden. As a child of the Undying, I took great interest in this immutable, immovable stone, gathered together and created many fragments over the course of my life, and eventually put together the very first level of the Blackstone Tower. I didn't realize at the time that I had, by my very nature of interacting with all of these blocks of order, changed myself intrinsically. As I completed the first level, an act that should have taken an entire lifetime, I found that I looked at my hands and saw no wrinkles, and I had barely changed at all. Just my hair had grown, nails, etc.
I see.
So, of course, I did what anyone would do and continued to craft. I had plenty of stone left. The last thing I wanted to do was leave it scattered everywhere, so I continued to use it and build it. I put together this tower brick by brick, and it is almost sentient in a sense, much like a well-used and well-beloved tool retains a sense of self. The Blackstone Tower has become intrinsically a part of my magic.
I understand then.
And yes, all around here, this place it is magic, or it was a home of magic. Now it is my home, and it is a place of order, unchanging order.
Cool.
Very cool. Scratch his head. That does remind me. I decided to look into some of those shards of divinity while I was here. It seemed
Yes.
only fair to do, lend you a few hands. Unfortunately, I have found one, particularly large shard by the look of it.
Unfortunately.
She gestures at her mirrors. The mirrors are also a plane. There is a shard of divinity within, and it could be recovered, but it would destroy the mirrors.
Oh.
I certainly don't want to do that. We can
Are you
avoid
sure you don't?
destroying scrying mirrors? I would believe so. They're a magical artifact that I don't believe could be recreated.
That is probably why they function in the first place.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, regardless, there is a shard of divinity within them, and a large, very powerful one at that.
Cass is just gonna kind of look towards Ralu. Like, oh man.
Alright, I gotta head out for a few minutes, do a few Mother Day stuff, continue on the conversation, everything like that. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll use this moment to make a fresh cup of tea. Pee break, everybody.
Okay.
Pee break. Whee! As aforementioned, there is a shard of divinity within those three mirrors, a very large one by that measure. Brienne will spread her hands. I would acquire it for you, but I was rather unwilling to destroy such a thing before even seeing any of you. Good talk.
Sorry about that.
I mean, if no one
It-
else
it-
is gonna say it.
It is Mother's Day. I got distracted.
Oh,
What did you
yeah,
say?
no biggie. There is a particularly large shard of divinity within those three mirrors.
And you do not want it?
Well, obviously it would be for the greater good, but it would destroy the mirrors to reclaim the shard.
I mean, we could always ask Python or our. No, it's up to you guys. Do you want to take that shard and destroy the mirror?
I mean, I'd hate to destroy the mirrors, but like, a day after we were having that whole big conversation about, oh, if only we had an extra super powerful shard of divinity.
Yeah, well, I am not opposed to it. It is a tragedy, but at least there are a couple more. And the world is ending. Might as well. Especially, the person keeping the Hounds of Tindalos off our backs. I vote in the affirmative. What about the rest of you?
I understand that Karin wants to spend some time with him. You can leave the mirrors be for now and break them later.
Yeah.
Well, break all three? Or
Will,
just one?
Yes, they will
Okay.
all cease their function.
Hmm.
Do you know how the divinity got there?
No, it was before my time. I know only it is there because when I was using them to locate a shard of divinity, they kept showing themselves until, clicked. Of course.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a terrible waste, but also, like, the world is ending.
That is the argument for most things at the moment.
We don't have to decide
I'm sure such
now.
objects will exist again. That is kind of how it is.
Suppose we don't have to decide now. We could sit and ruminate on it for a little while.
Of course, no rushes here.
It seems we've been having to wrestle with fairly substantial questions over the last couple of days. Might be best for us all to take a little while off. It's not like the mirrors are going anywhere.
No, I don't think they have ever moved. Apart from when I grabbed them.
I feel super safe here, so we can just relax for a little bit. Gods know we've earned it.
I mean, look, if you would like to spend extended time here, then I have no complaints. My home is open to you. There is space to train, space to eat and relax. The kitchen's not super expensive, unfortunately, not something I considered when I was putting the tower together.
Do you like drake meat?
Do I like a drake meat? What kind of drake? Some I do, some I don't.
Sandrake.
Oh yes, very much so.
Because, oh boy, do we have
Well,
loads of it.
Even the winged kite version.
Oh, excellent.
And don't
Is
forget, we
incredibly
have an
fatty.
actual... And now we actually have a chef on the ship. And stocked up on spices.
You do not have a chef on the
Do
ship
not
right
have
now.
a chef on this ship.
We
The
didn't
one
bring
you
her on
picked up
this
is in Los Dorado.
We didn't bring
Oh,
her
we
on
left
this.
her there?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, she works at the casino.
yeah. This would be
Oh,
something
right.
that Karin would know. So this out of
Yes,
character.
yes.
Yeah, Karin, you know that we
Car
dropped
could
her
just
off.
forget, and we just go yes, she's in Los Dorado.
Karin just forgot over the last 2 weeks.
Listen, as long as her
Yeah,
food
I-
shows up on her plate at regular times, Karin doesn't give a shit who's making it in the kitchen.
No, it's Masika, but yeah, we stocked up on spices and everything.
One
Yeah.
second, I forgot
Heading
to
out, so-
get something out there. Be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Lemon bars,
right.
you say?
My mom really wants it.
Did Debris here ever meet our alchemist friend?
Was she there for the Maria adventure? I don't remember. I feel like yes, she was. She was there.
Okay.
Yes, I'm familiar with Maria.
Yeah. I think Maria could have a nice little read in here as well.
If she wants to, she can use my lab. Yeah, if you want to spend time here and train, relax, then I am amenable. Otherwise, I have games as well.
I'd very much like to do so.
Yeah.
These past few days have been stressful, to say the least.
We'd be much obliged.
Mi tower is su tower.
Alright, mid-session level up, guys.
If you desperately want to, yeah.
Nah.
I think we can do it at the end because I don't think we're gonna be
Yeah,
getting
I
into combat this
Yeah.
session.
Unless like something drastically happens and like you need us to level up for combat, then I think we're fine without it.
No, it should be fine. It just means that if there were a combat that happened for any reason, you would do so as level 6s.
Okay.
What do you mean, level 7s?
Well, level
What
6
level
right
are you
now.
right
We'd be
now?
leveling up to 7.
Yeah,
Oh, right.
if a combat were to
I see.
happen in this session, you wouldn't be doing so as level 7. You should be doing so as 6s.
Yeah.
Right.
Not to say there isn't a combat encounter hiding on this map.
Let me undo my level. Yeah.
Hey, it's only there if you trigger it.
Just go slap some Hounds of Tinderlos.
Nah, not that one.
Slap Brienne?
It's probably the mirror trying to
Oh,
get the
she is
divinity out of
actually-
them.
I mean, Brienne is going to does want to spar with Ralu. Would you like to throw down Ralu?
Yeah. Do you want to? Okay.
I'm
She's
just gonna
going-
stand back here and not participate
Ha!
in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rinsed.
I
I
don't
saw
fancy
those-
getting stabbed, as it were.
I'm not hitting her with the sharp end.
Don't worry,
Oh, no,
I'll be
you
there
can
to
do
kiss
so.
the boo-boos of whoever loses.
I'm
And
also
probably
not going
whoever
to.
wins.
It's not going to cast any offensive magic. Because I can't non-lethal frost binding ice you.
Ralu, I am effectively unkillable. Go for it.
Yeah, you asked for her at her full power, and I imagine she wants the same from you.
Indeed. I will use the ones I cannot make non-lethal first, so that I am safe. Others should make some space. At which point
Yes.
Tiff is just gonna like go sit on the go sit on the armoire over here out the way.
I assume we're not doing it
I'll
in her
join her.
bedroom.
No,
Oh, wait, no,
she's
I
happy to
can't
throw down
grab
a. Her bedroom is
Okay.
like the most open space.
I
Okay.
can't have that many people over. I was gonna sit on it too, but then I saw maybe I was like,
Ah.
I probably shouldn't.
That's just belly flops on the bed.
In fact, I'll send this chair over here where there's a chair. I'll claim it.
Yeah, teenage girl thing of like stomach on bed, legs curled up, chin in hands.
Oh yeah, you got them back crossed. And yeah, there's a big purple velvet screen you can slide along. And yeah, all right, Brienne. Yeah, she is a Challenge 7 elite, so you probably aren't winning, but I would be interested to see how it looks.
Fairly certain I'm going to lose. Unless you beans every roll.
We'll just start with a normal song knife.
Miss.
All right, and you.
Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, Brienne, what is your AC like this? 16. Wow, I've never seen you hit all 4 in a row in a long old time.
Yep. And then let me read this really quick. Okay, no, I can't cast Binding Ice. Well, I will cast Frostram Bite.
Hmm?
And then I am going to use my 3rd level fighter as a free action, Anchor's Weight.
Neat.
Because he keeps sliding my character around, so I took Anchor's Weight.
It's a good choice. It really is. Alright, at the start of Brienne's turn, she heals a little. And you can see, like, actively these wounds just, like, seal themselves back up again. And let's go with the old bloody pirouette.
Miss.
Wow, terrible to hits. So no, apparently I'm just rolling 3s. Holy shit.
Yeah. No,
I told you.
you rolled a 7 and a 3.
Uh-huh.
Like, she's good if she ever hits.
Yeah. Alright. Let's see if we save at the end. Toot. She saves, which does activate Blackstone. Ooh, and you'll go.
Okay. It's time to just do fighter things. Actually,
Honestly, if I keep missing you, you will beat her.
I am going to activate Rune of Stone's Endurance as a minor action. If she wants to get DR, I will get DR.
It's only fair.
And then I will attack twice. Shame I don't have advantage.
Holy shit. If you'd had advantage, though, holy shit.
Hmm.
It's on the first one, and 8 on the second one. Yeah, wow. You have been improving.
Tried my best.
Okay. We shall give you... Blammo!
Oh. Yeah, I'm terrible at dex saves. Just keep forcing me to do that.
Yeah, she just throws her hand upward and there's a nice big whoomph.
I do not have resistance to fire damage, and my temporary HP is gone.
Alright. And you. I actually think you can beat her if you land
keep
enough good
hitting.
hits. Yeah.
Don't forget you can just spend a vit like every turn.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't
Wait.
taken any
Yeah,
damage
yeah,
yet.
she hasn't had to.
No,
It's
no.
weird.
You have one time. You have one temporary hit points. You have resist. Oh,
Yeah, no,
Nope.
to
I'm an idiot.
physicals.
No, that's BPS resistance,
Mhm.
not fire. Oh, right, my turn. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
See, there we go.
At last.
Was that first one? I will spend a vit to try to hit this round, since it's 2 misses. Nope.
I feel like based on how much of it you've got, like, there's no reason
Swish,
you
swish,
wouldn't want to
swish.
try every single round.
I'm just gonna let you spend one of my inspirations. That's a purely metagame resource.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay. No.
Ooh,
Wow.
The game said no.
Oh, she's
Fucking
nearly.
apparently.
She's already approaching full hit points again.
Yep.
And... pirouette. There we go.
All right. 17. How much does shield give you? Is it only 2?
I think it's 3.
Oh, it's 3. Yeah, I'll shield 317 damage.
Curses. I can. Yeah, I can't hit you then with that. Darn it. Oh wait, no, I hadn't. Oh, I did recharge it last time, didn't I?
You also recharged it this time too.
Yeah. Alrighty.
What?
You'll go again. Miss
Oh,
hit.
I'm gonna re-roll that first one. That was good damage.
Sure. Hit. Alright. And her DR ended, so she full of that. Slinkying her around. But I think I've got you beat in sustain. Yeah, she's going up now, more health than you can deal in a round.
Yep.
I think with that first burst with done and dealt with, it has become an unwinnable one.
Basically, we don't have to carry this on for another
I'll
hour or
just do one
so,
more.
but
Ka-chomp. Ah, well, I missed with the
That's
good
good.
attack. And
Yeah.
yeah, after you guys presumably keep this up for a little while longer.
eventually
there'll
I'm
be
gonna run
some-
out of. Eventually, I'm gonna just run out of it, and she's just gonna keep
Yeah.
generating. So
Yeah, she will. Before you like completely exhaust yourself, unless Ralu is completely into that, Brienne will bring it in for a salute, and you can still see like wounds healing on her. Like, I would dare say you have grandly improved, and I have probably gotten a little rusty at the same time.
thank you kindly for the bout. I was looking forward to it. You
Tips
are
hat.
very terrifying.
Oh, I thank you. No, most of my ability is just not dying. Everything else has been a work of flashiness. She makes her knife do a little musical whistle through the air and then pops it away again.
Just sits there with the notepad and I count all the misses. No, you're on par. You haven't gotten rusty.
Throws a sock knife at you. Bunk!
Donk.
It's the handle that conks you in the noggin, but you know. Then she will whip the knife back to hand again.
Good fight.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I have not really expended myself in any meaningful way. In years on years. Creatures and peoples do not often mess with the Blackstone Tower, that is for sure. And so my reason to stretch these limbs, and similarly on the downslide.
Well, just put her weapons away.
Oh. And afterwards, yeah, she will help anyone do what they want to do. Like she is quite willing to help everyone with their respective trainings. You realize that despite how large and big and comfy looking her bed is, she doesn't really sleep in it. She lies down on it and reads books. That's how she likes to pass the time for the most part. She has a large collection of card games from like many different generations, and a series of different types of puzzles as well that some of which you recognize as thingies, the alterable Asmund puzzle boxes, the toys for kids from the jungles.
Oh,
I remember
nice.
Grace was a big fan of those toys.
Yeah.
You little thinky puzzles. It's like a riddle, but with metal rings. At some point during the day, there's just like a brief blink of confusion out of Brienne that turns out that she hadn't noticed Carla phasing into the Blackstone Tower. At which point,
Phasing?
Yeah, Carla the Shadow, your phase leaping. Definitely not adventurer, thief of holy relics.
Oh, yes, right. That was her gig.
Her thing is changing phase and going through things. Just how she stole from the Golden Mother, and presumably how she might steal from the Blackstone Tower until she realizes that you are all in fact immensely cool with her. pissing off adventurers she does not want to do.
Be
Gentle
like,
newspaper.
yes. Yes, Canadian. Oh shit, it's you. Yes, okay, fuck. God damn it.
Yep.
And we're just going to be turning around and...
Yeah. She does steal something, though.
It's Brienne's
Incorrigible.
panties.
No.
No, she can't do that. Cass has already done that.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say what panties.
True.
Oh, fuck. Brienne. You have advantage while you're in the Blackstone Tower. What does that make your passive? What's your
Probably
normal?
not
It's a
enough.
+6 normally.
So it'd be a plus 11. So that'd be a no, it'd be 19. No.
Oh, no, advantage just gives you +5. So it'd be
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
was
so if it's
21.
+6, her passive becomes
plus 11.
21.
+11, 21. Yeah, so you do beat her passive.
Yeah.
Even in the tower. Clever boy.
Twist of fate.
No.
You have to see it to fate it.
I know. I can't do that either. I'm not divine.
That's okay. Maybe she'll discover them again during the week.
I'm sure. In your mug of tea.
Well, no, clearly Cass just wears them.
Yeah.
The new Sentry challenge.
Yeah. Silica pack versus panties.
Yeah.
I ever catch you taking from my drawer, I will magic missile you.
That'd be
Good luck
worse.
catching him.
Good luck catching him taking it.
It's like, yes, taking from your drawer. Never done
suppose-
that.
Fucking-
You haven't even noticed they're
No.
gone.
Yeah, you have no idea they're gone. Holy shit. You just immediately assume, like, oh, I think I left those ones with Stace.
Clearly.
Clearly. It's
They
definitely
just
not in
steal some out
Khassid's
of-
collection.
Just steal some out of memory so good.
Shame too, those were
Not
one of
only
my more
steal the
favorite pairs.
panties, but just... No, that wasn't that favorite pair, remember?
No, that
He
was a
stole the
favorite pair.
panties and the memory of it.
No, he did not steal the memory of it. Shame too, that was a favorite pair of mine. Well, guess Stacy's enjoying them.
And now they're a favorite pair of Cass's.
I suppose I should ask the question. Do you guys intend to crack the mirrors at the end of your week?
I do not.
Retrieve the Shard of Divinity within.
Cass is so torn.
I will advocate that we do not do that. These are three of a kind relic that cannot be replicated.
Well, Brienne said eventually they'll sort of regenerate.
No, she said eventually someone will create something like this
Well,
again.
yeah,
They
okay.
were created in the first place, and they will be created again.
If
So they can, in
get a
fact,
hold of
be
the Shard of
replaced just
Divinity.
eventually. That could even be your
Yeah.
whole new thing. Maybe the thing Anai does. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Feels bad, but also like exigency of the world ending.
Yeah,
So we got-
I like that the idea of this thing existing or getting another.
Then again,
like
Also,
on
it does-
on the Doylean side of things, these things haven't existed until this very session, and will probably never exist again. So like, who cares?
unless you bring one with you.
Yeah. Well, it's
He
just
sure as shit
the
ain't
only the only thing that
No,
Ralu's balking at is, ruining Brienne's entertainment. She just sits in a tower all the time. This is her only contact with the outside world.
That is certainly something to bulk at.
So,
Yeah.
like, making her self-imposed exile extra lonely just seems that's why Ralu is also torn.
Here's my thoughts on the matter. There are more shards of divinity we can find in the world that aren't necessarily breaking these ones here. If need be, we now have a location that we could come back to find one that is in emergency.
Yeah, I'm
Actually,
fine with that.
that is a point. You two were saying that we should keep one in case of emergency. Well, here's
Guess
one
that's
in case of an
probably, yeah.
emergency. And this way we're not breaking Brienne's entertainment unless we actually really, really have to.
I'm
The
sure
only
I could
con-
figure out other entertainment, but I appreciate the thought.
The only concern I might have for you keeping this here, is there any divinity from those that leak out? If so, then you'll have things crawling around the tower trying to get them.
Not in the Blackstone Towers, that's for sure. This place is the beacon of order. It is the antithesis of such creatures.
Then I can think of no better place for a large store of divinity to be safely stored in case of an emergency then.
Indeed,
Literally,
I
in
suppose
case
if you
of-
have other things you want to potentially keep from the forces of darkness, my tower is a good place to keep them as any.
Don't think we do.
Just
None-
store all the gods here.
No, damn shit, aren't they just hunting her?
She's also fighting them.
Yeah.
He's quite
Yeah,
active in
we've-
fighting.
we find-
At first, when she had no shards, yeah, she was actively being hunted and in a lot of danger and taking a lot of damage. But you resolved that matter after like a month, I think it was.
She's up to like 4 shards now, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah, she's pretty healthy.
3.
You know, I have a riddle for the mirrors.
Sure.
Mirrors, mirrors, standing tall, beyond the shards we know of all, wherefore can one find divinity spare to keep the gods in good repair?
That's a real good fucking rhyme. How long were you noodling that one?
About 2 minutes.
Oh, not bad.
Nice.
Let's see here. I almost want to reward you just because it's such a good riddle, but it's a lot like that idea of when you try and use find magic on something in a room that's very magical and you just sort of like get blasted by it. The moment these things start trying to look for any shard anywhere, they just sort of keep centering in on themselves.
Wait.
But you can have one shiny
Yeah.
Python coin.
Well,
Good run,
It's
right?
as nice a gimme as I can offer you.
Well, I was gonna say, if you can, excluding.
No,
Jeez.
no. Anytime they try and look for a shard, they just immediately go, "Oh, yeah, this shard, the one that's right here. This big, very loud, very bright shard is right here in front of us. Sorry." It just anytime it looks for it. Yeah, that's why Brienne was like, "Yeah, I tried. I thought it was something else at first until I realized no matter how I worded it, they kept going back to themselves. They are being outshone by whatever they're hiding."
A shame.
It is.
Do we know what actually makes, like, divinity shards happen?
No, which is why I want to study one, the next one we find. See if I can't figure it out a bit.
Oh, no, it hasn't been told you.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, that it is, in an effect, portions of a god's power that they have meted out for some kind of use interfering in the mortal world, and then there's just some juice that gets left behind, or it might have been some harm. Like, essentially, they're like the result of or the echo of a particularly large divine event or choice, like Valorous himself doing his wish shit. Presumably could actually do a wish, but it would leave behind such a great big chunk of himself, he'd just fucking die.
I still do want to examine the next one we seek, understand it more.
What do you dictate as being alone? Like, you've got this entire town, the tower full of people, and then probably not actually leaving it over the course of the week entirely.
Yeah, but on this floor, like they're not all gonna
Yeah,
be on
sure,
this
when
stuff.
everyone goes. If you say, like, I want to look at something personal, then Brie will be like, yeah, of course, go for it.
Ralu's not gonna poke into your private life.
Yeah, if you want to look into something personal, for sure.
She's gonna poke into her
Yeah.
private knoll.
What time of day is it? Date as well.
Here. I have a
I'm trying to think if there's any, like,
potential-
holiday that lines up with...
Maybe better.
It's probably just gonna put it back to them where they
No,
have.
no.
yes, because that's the same sort of answer that we just
Well, here's the thing.
got,
I'm not
that-
asking for the shards. I'm just asking for places where the thing that that creates the shards has happened.
Oh, you're just looking for places where there are events.
Mm-hmm. And there might be shards there. There might not be.
There might, yeah. I was going to say, since that is up for potential grab, and these things aren't initially looking for a shard, I would permit that to send something up. Give me a moment while I just double check the thing first, though. So it's 9th of June. You got to the capital. 10th left. What's it like in the middle of June in the Arctic?
In the middle
Hedrah?
of June, a whole like the Arctic hellscape that I live in, verdant fucking green.
No. Your bears are up in like a real fucking cold town, not quite the.
Oh.
The...
No, I'm.
It's
I'm
probably
talking-
It's probably permanently bright. The sun is up 24 hours a day
Yes,
at this time of year.
yes,
but it's not. It wouldn't be verdant necessarily because it's like
Doesn't
fucking
Hedrah live?
14 degrees.
Doesn't
I'm
Hedrah live
telling
next to
you-
the Arctic Circle?
No, I don't live. I live north of the Arctic Circle.
Ah, okay.
I'm literally telling you, like it's green in June
All right.
in
Fair
Sweden.
enough.
Like that's the like June and July are the only fucking time you will have any greenery. Like that's what I'm saying. Like spring is like the end of May, start of June.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is the 13th of June while you're at the Blackstone Tower. So you are looking upon the like a great big family lodge that belongs to your father and mother's respective line, long-standing marriage that it was, and particularly large families. That lodge has expanded to almost its own holdstead, and it is a one large wooden building, usually inured against the endless snows, surrounded by a cluster of smaller homes. And you can definitely see that there are 2 new homes that have been added to this particularly large bare homestead. The same big open clearing where they would have had their fire pits and like places for dancing and music and all of that is no longer there, but only because it has been relocated to behind the homestead, where it's been turned into a much larger entertainment place. It looks like at some point one of the neighboring villages must have relocated to be a lot closer. Like, it just looks like it's attached to a way larger village than you remember, and you definitely can't account for your like family just like fucking their way to an entire half a village. There has probably been some kind of merging that happened. Usually that event is either down to destruction coming to someone or enough people like getting cross-married and stuff that they want to bring their families together in one place. You don't see any like you don't see any garlands or evidence of like wedding ceremonies, which would be probably pretty prime around now for holding them out in the sun. You don't see any like garlands and stuff like that, so it's probably not a marriage relocation. No one that walks around looks to be struggling and having an especially hard time, but you would have to guess something bad happened nearby to have facilitated this change.
Mm.
You find you can change the view on this mirror inn, and probably comes to a halt at the edge of your family's large home. Now, what are the odds that they would have anything along the lines of scrying protection?
Scrying protection, I would say yes in the inner sanctum of the home. But
sure. What did you have used to have a little chapel there?
Yeah, with their devotees and well,
Yeah.
the concentrated fucking religious fervor.
Yeah, I would say like it probably gets real fuzzy and crackly, like you're losing connection when you try and zoom in too close to the side of the house. that has your little Marifan, like chapel and plinth and all of that. You don't know what state it's in, but considering it's still actively counter-scrying, presumably there are people in your family who still use it, or at least still keep it respectfully clean for you. But casting your view around, you can spend essentially as long as you want, just zooming in on various homes within this village. Occasionally, the mirrors will go dark after like 30 minutes of solid looking. You know, like a "Are you still there?" kind of setting on some browser. You'd be like, "Yeah, I'm still here," and then the mirror will resume showing you, just so it doesn't, just endlessly drift off casting huge magic and invading privacy. But yeah, you're able to spend essentially as long as you want checking over your families.
Well, we're just making sure that none are missing limbs where there should be.
No, your family looks to be intact.
The scars I can understand, but
yeah, I was gonna say like there are probably like some fresh scars on them, or someone's like walking around and they've got their arm in a sling. Like those are just the kinds of injuries that happen if you happen to have large livestock, or and you have to fell trees. Like it's fucking dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
You don't see any widows have been made of widowmakers, so that's something at least.
Mm-hmm. Lots of good livestock. No starvation. That's good.
Yeah. I guess if a village moved, the livestock farm is larger than it was before, but there is definitively like paint markings on the wool of some of like about half the livestock to indicate they're probably belonging to other families.
Mm.
But they're all sharing the same pastures.
Yeah, and understandable why they would get closer to the bears, because the ground up there should be relatively rocky, so require a lot of muscle power to remove rock and make it, like tillable and workable fields.
Yeah, they're all tough up there. To be fair, not a tremendous number of werebears are in your family, despite you being a bear and your parents being werebears. Like, taking the bite is innately a dangerous thing still. Like, it's not a 100% survival rating, and if people don't feel the pressure to become lycanthropic in their lifetime, they don't. But, you still have, like, a big Nordic genes essentially going through your family.
Yeah. That's the same thing with doing farming in Sweden in the more southern part, because of glacier and rocks. It was a lot of de-rocking things to get that in form of farmable land.
Yep. There are so many stone walls in the Nordics, and it is almost exclusively because they had to dig up all the stones. They needed something to do with the damned things.
Yep. That's it. We got fucking so many miles of that stuff, and that just started becoming what's called a path and road markers.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, cast mirror standing tall beyond the places we know of all, where within the deserts of Gaia have the gods spent great power. I know, I nearly read fucking Loam magic mirrors as part of that fucking rhyme.
I was about to make the same joke, and then the last line, fucking let me magic mirrors.
Let us see here. Roll me a d3, please.
Okie dokes.
Pick you something fun. 1. Okay. I will grab my little pen. As ever, I have to slide past all of the random Lapinara or pink haired. Anytime the word pink comes up, it hides all of my pins.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Wheel or woe?
Wheel.
Okay.
Oh, you could have gone both, just like in the spell.
Yeah, you could have said both.
No, I like wheel. Wheel's nice.
Because the wheels of the bus go round and round.
Exactly. Hedrah gets it.
Okay. Whoop. Over there to the northwest of Blackstone Tower, almost a straight line northwest of Blackstone Tower, is a particularly large site that is referred to as Demon's Wake. It is around that place that there are a number of individuals who called upon God's light to destroy some waking demons before they could do a whole lot of horrible things to the people who lived around there. It is entirely likely where a martyr called upon divine intervention to locate a shard in such a place.
Ooh.
Or at the very least, some kind of relic or magical remains, like broken demon horns, that kind of thing. Saint's knucklebones, that kind of shit.
Oh, I love
So
Saint
it's not a total
Knucklebones.
lose out of a site, but it is a lucky dip, as it were.
We take those.
Potential site of an event required a great deal of divine power to be expended.
Yep.
By Sunfield.
Yes, the one southwest of Sunfield.
Oh no, it wasn't like Demon's Wake text was up there for me, so I think that's about.
Oh, let me just
Oh,
move
there
it
we go.
around
Now
again.
it's fixed.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yes, it is down in the deeper sands, southwest of Sunfield.
North of Darcy Blows.
Darcy Blue, please. That place
Darcy
isn't used
Blue.
anymore. It is it is in fact in past tense.
Darcy Blowen.
Darcy
Well, she's not blowing
Blurbst.
anymore. She blew. And that's why it's called Darcy Blue.
I like Darcy Wermst. Yeah, there you go. Anything else? I guess we've got mirror time ahead of us.
Yeah, I've got one for it.
Sure.
Mirror, mirror, I ask you please, the mark of mastery I seek, the whereabouts I need, can you give me a peek?
So do tell, what is your intent with like the mark of mastery?
To obtain it and basically complete her mother's dream of originally finding it and getting a hold of it. She's unsure exactly what they do, just that they enhance the 8 schools of magic as they were and give deeper understanding of it.
Yeah. AP. Oh shit, that could be really funny. Roll me a d20.
Okay. A 7.
Oh, it wasn't the funny one. Okay. Alrighty. You can see. Alright, you can see what appears to be a small sand ship. It is currently in motion. And I don't know if there is an easy way to tell where it is until you zoom way out. So you imagine those old school views of from the ground to the ceiling, this like old west style camera approach, and then it suddenly soars upwards as though it takes off on a drone. It's that old school where they had to probably stand on a scissor lift and fucking haul some poor bastard up into the skies on this damn rattling thing. You can even see like the rattle and shake of the camera as it rises up and gives you perspective for this long, endless, painful desert. It goes out into the middle of nowhere. And you can still see that one tiny ship now kicking up a little sand trail in its wake as it heads towards what seems to be a particularly large, abandoned village. It is on the edge of an oasis as this ship approaches towards it before beginning to zoom slowly in again. And as the camera does so, you can see by the pan it is including in its view the Northern Ocean. This ruined village is not entirely far away from where an oasis is.
Alright. So that gives somewhat of an idea.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Loam might know if she wants to give a survival. It is entirely around somewhere where she might have worked.
The region around with that Demon's Wake area, yeah. I mean, Loam lived over here, and she would. This area would be where she was most frequently around.
I think we're talking about something else.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no. This is another thing. It is
Oh, another
it is in
area.
that general area,
In
but
this area?
trying to. No, you're looking currently
Oh my
at this
God.
ship that is traveling through the sand. It is headed towards a abandoned village. To the by camera view north is the ocean, and you can see that there is an oasis not too far from this village. If you want to give me a survival, you'll be able to find out where it might be.
Somewhere in here, maybe?
It's not a bad
That's what I'm
guess.
thinking.
So yeah, give me a
Sure.
roll.
I'll knack it.
Yeah.
You can have my inspiration if you want, or Mives.
Sure.
No,
Same
you
I
get what you're,
say
you get what you're
no.
fucking given, apparently.
Fate has decided.
Yeah. That's still a 17, so that's pretty good.
Inspo has not been working today.
Wait, does she naturally have advantage?
Not.
I mean, she's not reading a map here. She's just looking
Yeah.
at a view.
Yeah. Overview. Like it's just desert.
Yeah, but it's
area.
she does not have the scale or perspective for this. It is very difficult to look at a TV and look at the desert in a TV and be like, well, because I can see an ocean, that must be exactly where it is.
Well, if Loam had...
She's only been visiting it on ground level.
Yeah, I was about to say, if Loam had a flight speed, then yes. But Loam's never seen it from that angle. Like, it was pointed out in the webcomic Girl Power that, like, when you learn how to fly, things look a lot different from up high than on the ground. And, like, Sydney got lost the first time. Yeah, to be fair, but yeah, that GeoGuessr dude does that, like, it's a very different, like, set of skills. And the GeoGuessr dude also does it from, like, ground level, doesn't he? Not from, like, a sweeping air level.
There you go. Those are the two potential sites that Lone can pick out where that might be located.
Oh,
Villages either from the eastern perspective, the oasis, or the western perspective of the oasis. Both of them have like the Northern Ocean on their like hazy horizons when the camera is zoomed out just far enough.
Well, thank you, Loam, and thank you, Mirrors.
Oh. Okay.
The mirrors flicker out.
It would be hilarious just watch the mirror for another hour and just see the shadow position move. Be like, oh, it's that.
Maybe. It's not an exact science, and it would have to change its view. Its view would probably change every time it reset on those 30 minutes. It's not like it's coming in on a well-known place, and the concept of the question in the first place is a little bit awkward, but yeah.
It's fine. It's already given me 2 possible locations, and that's more than I had before.
Yeah. Alright. Any other Emilio questions?
No, all Ralu would do would ask someone who's good at rhyming to give her a rhyme to scry her sister to make sure she's safe. But other than that,
Sure, type one up.
I listen. Both listen. The reason why Ralu asked someone else is because I can't think of one.
Alright, then ask them.
Yes. My.
Yeah? What's up?
Can you think of a rhyme for me to check in on my sister? I don't have to check in on my parents. They're in the literal safest place in the desert.
Just ask it. I don't know. Mirror, mirror, oh so near, show to me my sister dear.
Okay, Rollo will ask that then.
Okay. Roll me a d20, please.
I hope you only have one sister.
Yeah, she only does. She has the one. That's a lucky number.
Yeah. Okay. The camera does its old swoop in thing again. This time you recognize again that particularly large tent that belongs to the Golden Mother, although this is not where the camera is in. That is off to the side here, and your sister's tent is just one of many, many on the sands at the moment. As you zoom in through the canvas flap, you can see your sister. She is not looking great. War has not done her any favors for her complexion. You can see that the manticore is sat on a bed, resting chin on knees, hugging legs, and staring blankly into the middle distance. You've seen that look before. She's more than a little bit shell-shocked.
Alright. Well, after the vision fades, Ralu's... No, actually, Ralu doesn't... Anai doesn't know her, so she wouldn't be able to cast Sending. Ralu is going to ask Anai to send a Sending to... Hang on, I have their names written down somewhere. To Sarah, the manticore that Anai was possessing, and tell her to tell her sister that they're about a week and a couple of days out. Rala will be there soon.
Alright, you write down what you want, 25 words or less.
You're going to have to spend some of those words telling her who this is, right? They don't. Do they recognize your voice when there's a sending, or is it just words?
Yeah,
popping
no,
up
they
in their head?
recognize who it's from immediately.
I've sent her before,
Okay.
so she should recognize me. Yes.
Well, I'll type that out, but yeah, that's all I had.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately your sister does not seem to be having a good time in the middle of a war zone. But hey, you're not far from her now.
How many days away are we from the work camp? Is that 2 days or 1 day?
Looks
2
like about a
days.
day. 2 days, okay. You were planning to spend like a week here for level up and
Yeah,
stuff?
so yeah,
Yep.
that's why I'm gonna say we're 8 days out.
Sure. Then yeah, Maeve will give you a great big hug, growling. Like, I'm sorry, I'm sure she'll be okay.
Valora, she was never really meant to be a legionnaire. We
Yeah.
have...
What was it? She got stop lost?
sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
So what happened? Was she stop lost?
I don't know what that means, Skow.
It means that even though her time in service is up and done, the army has decided to not recognize that fact and send you out anyway.
No. Uh, the term of service for our military is about 10 years, so mandatory conscription, 10 years in the military, and then the rest of your life out if you choose to. Um, people like Nena, the manticore that um, Karin was bound to, is kind of a lifer, you know? My sister's the opposite of that. She's more of a artist. She likes masonry and stuff like that, and building, carving intricate designs into structures.
Yeah. What you did hear, though, is that your sister was due to come back on leave.
Yeah, she just got her leave
But that
canceled.
her leave was unleaved. It was involuntarily extended.
Yeah. So when I'm there, I might as well use what influence I have to at least give her a 4-day.
It looks like she needs a whole lot more than 4 days. Can you just pull a nepotism and get her out completely?
I don't think I could get her dismissed from. Again, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to use that wish. After that wish, I could probably just convince the Golden Mother that she's far more useful building battlements and reinforcing the Great Oasis or any one of the non-frontline duties. But, and if she wasn't of the Golden Bloodline, then she could probably just go to any one of the engineering corps. But there's a certain expectation if you're of the Golden Mother's lineage.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't mind it myself. I
Well, yeah, obviously
enjoy
it worked
war.
out for you. Well, we worked out for you. It
Yeah.
didn't
Well,
work out for you at first.
even before that, I didn't mind. You know,
Oh.
I like being a warrior, but her, not so much.
Yeah. Okay. Look, if it always doesn't work out, we can, voluntarily make her a deserter.
We can
Shifty
kidnap
eyes.
her.
Yeah, just a casual kidnapping. Just a little, as a treat.
I could. I do have an idea of how I can bring her back to the Oasis. After all, I do plan on hunting down whatever that monster is trapped there, so it doesn't, you know, kill my parents and you know all the people that live there. And I could simply say that I want to bring my sister back with me. It shouldn't be too hard. It's just if the Golden Mother had her perspective changed, I could probably get my sister discharged completely, or at the very least moved to like a local engineering corps.
Well, there's also, there are lots of options. There's also bribery.
I don't know what I have to bribe the Golden Mother.
You have shitloads of gold with which to bribe your sister's superiors.
We'll see. Ralu looks deeply uncomfortable about this. Ralu, the honest one.
Yeah. Mother's like, look, if you gotta do a good deed for family, then you gotta do a good deed for family, no matter how fucking shitty it might be.
She's willing to spend a wish to brainwash someone, but going up and just slapping a bunch of gold and saying, "Hey, would you the wish thing?"
Discharge my sister. It's a real shame that she's out here when she picked up this terrible whooping cough. You see,
Not the whooping cough.
she's got the whooping cough and needs to go back to the Oasis to recover.
Terrible limp. Wouldn't be effective in combat. More effective elsewhere.
Yeah, she's got them poor foot. We've all got poor foots. Yeah. Yeah, it's not an impossible feat for you to get your sister out by any number of ways that people regularly get family members out of some kind of service.
Yeah. Listen, Ralu is going to try it. It's just modicumly more difficult as long as the Golden Mother's evil, but she also has some excuses, including, well, listen, I got to take Talia with me when I have my kid, and, it's always important to have extra hands around the house.
Yeah. I gotta think there aren't many people who have the gumption to be like, by the way, Golden Mother, I want to do something completely self-interested. Like, that's not something that she sees regularly, I would put it that way.
Yeah,
She might be amused by it.
But also Ralu's, like,
terrified of that prospect.
Well, not just that, but it's also the way she could convince the Golden Mother is Ralu is the Void Hunter who also literally just gave her a way to close the doors and has been closing doors all over the world. Well, all over the deserts. So
Sure. It's just I happen to know that Ralu's inability for dishonesty.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have failed every single time Ralu's tried to lie to people. So if the dice tell stories, then
yeah, like the moment you were like, I'm sure I could try and do a little persuade or something, my was like, how about a nice honest bribe? You'd have to make a social check. You'd have to try lying to people. She's clearly worried about your ability to blag this to the boss.
A good bribe does wonders for her place, or getting anything done.
Absolutely.
Although you don't call them bribe, you call them a donation or incentive.
Incentive, yeah.
She just might straight up tell the truth that she wants her sister out of there because she needs some R&R and she wants to take her back. If she has enough clout to demand an entire warship, she has enough clout to take one soldier off the line.
Absolutely.
You're thinking about this all wrong, right?
What you should do is just recruit her. Say you need her specific skills for our very important work the Golden Mother sent us on.
Yeah, just take her into your unit.
Again.
What are her skills?
She's this was the part that Skow pointed out. That would be lying because her skills are she's a pretty good mason.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Wait a minute. If she's a good mason, I could totally unironically use her help for stuff.
You mean for working on a casino?
I need her help for stuff. It's important stuff.
Exactly. You need her help for stuff. The things that will further your cause.
Yeah. It's a fun way to word it. It's still kind of disingenuous by omission, so I'm worried about Raleigh's ability to pull that off, but,
I'm sure together we can manage it.
Oh, for sure.
Especially if there's a healthy, donation for the refurbishment of Legion equipment.
A classic indeed. Or maybe like just a really big bottle of hooch.
Yeah.
Well,
she'll look to Raleigh. Manticore soldiers like being bribed with hooch, right? Hooch and smokes.
Milk. Food.
Oh, milk. Oh, well, yeah, that covered.
Anything a soldier would like. Manticores love milk. Better rations. Yes, alcohol.
Cough, cough. Steak.
You should get that cough checked out.
Yeah, you should get that checked out.
Yes.
Steak, yeah. Steak would also be a good bribe.
A lot of steak.
Yeah, it really depends on how many people we have to hand it out to, but yes.
All valid options, at the very least.
Well, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna have to figure it out when we get there.
I'm sure that won't take too long.
Now I'm going to ask Brienne to beat the shit out of me for a week.
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
You
well,
do that.
Can be arranged.
I'm going to delve into the mysteries of Arcane, and also try and figure out what's going on with the whole Celestin I got here. And she points to her chest.
Soulstone, sorry? It's very
Yeah.
hard to see anything when looking at your chest except for your chest.
I know. But yes, a soulstone that I've embedded into the armor here. It's got something secretive about it, but unsure what.
Ah, fair enough. Maybe the secret is this, that it's very fond of being on your tits.
I know I would be.
She spreads her hands. But yes, there should be no problem in fiddling around with any amount of magics in this place. I say it is generally pretty well protected from itself, both within and without. And spending time down at the Nexus would probably do you some favors as well. A lot of magic down there. Just don't interact with it directly, or you will unleash a gout of wild magic.
I shall.
Unless you want to
attempt
do
not
that,
to.
but I would rather you, make us all aware.
I shall attempt not to unleash a gout of mild magic.
Very good.
This time.
This time.
I don't it'd be hilarious. Fucking like if that happens, roll on the table on the Karin and gets indestructible bones again.
Oh no, you didn't get indestructible bones, you got diamond bones.
No. I had the
Oh, you got diamond
I had-
nails.
yeah.
Your fingernails were
diamond
turned to
nail,
diamonds, and you had indestructible
Yes.
bones.
and my bones became indestructible. So like it's like on Maddie.
Yep.
So
like
yes,
like a
imagine
bling
fucking,
Wolverine.
Yeah, imagine, but that would be an issue there because she would be in bear form, and then like, oh shit.
Oh no, you change out to human form and it leaves a bear skeleton behind.
I could not
You
change.
just
I
go
couldn't
splorch like the Thing.
I could not even fucking change back
The meat could
because
change
the
back.
start. No, I couldn't even change back. It would just be imagine a fucking human skin stretched over a bear
You're
skeleton.
on that route
Yeah.
regardless anyway, with the amount of time you spend in bear form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the people like I can't shift down and all that for the good stuff. But
I feel like it's probably supposed to start getting harder.
Yeah,
for you, 'cause you spend,
at a point when you spend enough time in your hybrid form, it gets very difficult to start shifting down to humanoid.
because like you majoritively spend time in hybrid form. I feel like you describe it as like you're being in hybrid form most of the time.
One of the days
Hell,
you're
are
gonna
you
get
in
stuck
hybrid
like
form
that.
right
Yeah,
now?
one of the days you'll smile into the wind and your face will get stuck with that expression.
Like hell, like aren't you in hybrid form right now as it is? Like
no.
It's always been described as Karin's always been in bear form and only rarely turns back to human form. So
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah.
you are just going to get stuck that way.
I like the easier form because I have it there, but now I don't have to deal with the heat and the thirst and everything. So I haven't bared up since I went down in the down there in the fucking catacombs.
If only
Well,
roll
we should
20 was
swap
cool.
your token out.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
if
I
only
know, but
We should.
If-
I've just been really lazy about it.
if only roll 20 was cool enough to let you just
I really wish I could fucking double side tokens so
yeah,
bad.
exactly.
oh yeah, so just flip.
Yeah.
Would love to do
Yeah, I
that.
will be.
I've just been lazy about it because I didn't want to operate two different tokens and connect their stats.
Mm.
But it can be done.
can you just
If you
tie
hook me up with
both
that art
tokens
again
to
to make the
to the sheet though, or is it you can only have one token to a sheet?
You can only have one
I can't-
token for auto drag out, but you can just put
Yeah.
the other token wherever and copy paste it.
Yeah, you can only have one set as the default. I would just have to keep it in storage. Yeah. Alright, if you hook me up with the art again, I'll token Karin into.
No, you
into
already
human
have
iron.
the token.
I do, but I
She's lost it. She's forgotten it. Give her the art again.
forgot what I've titled it as. I'm sure I can find this.
Isn't the only art we have of her in her downsized form the cutie chin orgy art?
She
There's
has an
also
actual like
original
little
reference
headshot bust.
piece. Yeah.
Oh, does she? I don't. It's been so long, I do not remember it.
Let's see. Plans. Oh, I don't have a tokenized version of it. I will need that link again. Yeah. Instead, of course, I have such very, very important tokens as.
Yep.
Incredibly important token.
Absolutely incredible. And very much needed, you know?
And safer for work than the that tits game ass shot. Yeah. Oh, that was a funny one. I'm definitely not putting that one up on the big screen.
Yeah, you can't put that one
I
up.
can't do that one. That's not a good idea.
I'm trying to find what the hell you're posting.
If you drop me the original, I'll just like reborder it. It's not a big deal.
No, I was saying that the one that you were talking about right now. That's what you were laughing like, oh, and this one, and then like it was just looking at the chat.
That was
Yeah, hold on. I probably got the file here. I'll just put it in VCT, I think.
It's on the map right now.
Ah.
Just a nice big old
Yeah,
titters. But the one I cannot show, I will instead put in VCT.
Oh, no, I don't actually have that one on the computer here. I just have the really thirsty one from the OrgyCon.
Yeah, that's the only one I have too. I do not know or remember her original one.
Yeah, can't have that one. Cannot put that one in the Roll20 or anything like that.
No.
Come on, it'll be fine.
Don't think so.
This is the one I got saved on my computer right now.
Also pretty great.
Mm-mm.
Let me at them toes, bitch. Yeah. Okay. How about we go to experience, and then we'll leave you guys time to ask all the mirror questions you would like, and you can finally fucking level up.
Yay!
Holy shit.
We're only like 20 experience past the threshold.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how that feels.
Yeah, we wouldn't because we only just got past the threshold in Sav 6.
I know, but in Sav 5, my god, we went over it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get one more third level spell.
I get a fourth level spell.
I mean,
now.
one more second level spell. I don't get third level spells until 9.
I finally get to cast this spell. I got to learn like way early on. Like I got taught this one way early in the campaign. It's like, all right, well,
one day
you just have it. Now I get to use it.
Be unleashing the next version of S&S sometime over this week, I guess. So probably don't do the mechanical leveling up stuff until you see that.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay. Are there any new spells or anything like that?
Yeah, there are new spells. There's a bunch of new spells.
Okay, then I'll have to hold off on doing the entire leveling until I see it then.
Well,
Oh, will that be will we be updating our characters in Sav 6 for that then?
You guys will update when you level up, I think.
When we level. Okay.
Which will be soon.
Yeah, it should be soon.
Well, will my spell things be different? Because I just went into the
no spell slots are all the same.
Okay. Well then I will
that's
just
never
wait till
changing.
next week then. Okay. All right.
Just your actual class features and stuff, potentially.
All right.
Or the wording of spells.
Oh, so like health per level is not going to change. I can up that.
No, that's all fine.
Yeah.
Did you guys save an innocent life?
No.
Defeat a solo treacherous?
No.
I got beat
today.
I got beat by a treacherous encounter.
I learned something new about the world, did you, General?
Oh yeah, we found out where some potential divinity shards are.
Yeah, and you learned about the Blackstone Tower.
And the magic mirrors and everything. And where a divine soul is.
You take on create a quest, a major quest, complete one.
Got to Brienne finally, but
Yeah, we finally got Brienne's stuff back to her.
You have created quests in the form of Demon's Wake and hunting out the Mark of Mystery.
Cool, cool.
Okay.
I'll allow that. You have put an effort and you've put new things on the map for you to locate. Uncover rare magic item treasure hoard.
Yes.
Yes, actually yes. Damja juiced Masika stick.
yeah.
And also upgraded her magic item.
You're welcome, Winter.
Now it's past
Thank
climactic
you.
touch on crits. We need to crit. You need to crit more often now.
Yeah, we need to
Yep,
start
now you
having
need-
reckless attack a
The
lot.
deadly
Yeah, you have to
jizz
start
pole.
recklessing.
And yeah, I believe that's that. We
Alright,
scored in the
so-
special
Special
objective for the
objective?
god. We did that one last time.
237 then?
237.
Alright.
Next cap is
280.
2-8.
280.
My finally is up to proficiency 3 and has her 3rd level spells. She can cast Fireball.
Welcome to the club. It's so fun.
She's finally good. And yeah, more importantly, she has a Gaze of Two Minds, so she can now slap that on Ralu or Cass and just feel everything.
Isn't that great? That spell's
Nice.
great. Or not that
Tantric
spell, but the
fun.
invocation's great. I should use it more often in Sav 6.
Yep. Definitely.
Totes.
David,
My staff
if
not only
it-
does the. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if it worked like the old Gaze of Two Minds, you just have her sit back on the boat there and just cast spells through there.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like the convent of witches protecting their twink on his adventures and just fucking skull blasting them with magic every time that gets a bit hairy.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is I need to start getting a coven together for Sav.
Yeah,
6.
get a coven together and
You
gaze of
guys
two
have
minds
a
into one person.
Already.
You know what? Actually, yeah, okay, we're kind of building a coven, but still. Oh shit,
I
it
do
is
have-
becoming a
I
coven.
mean,
You're
if you-
I
right.
do have a. I do
There-
have a
there
dark
are,
one
like-
witch on my side.
There are a
possibly
bunch
now.
of witches following you around. They're starting to actually share spell books and teach each other magic.
Yeah, you're right. We have a fully
You're
blown
right, you're
coven.
right.
When your necromancer
lit-
joins in, I think we can call it coven status, right?
Yeah,
Possibly.
you have a magical bard, you have a literal witch, you have an arcanist, and then a necromancer. What more do you fucking need?
Archdruid. Then we're
Archdruid,
set.
yeah.
That's full
Yeah.
coven status completed.
Yeah, I believe it. Anyway,
Is
if
it-
you're watching on stream YouTube,
is
thanks
it-
for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for 70. Until then, adios and do take care.
Peace.